They've got the looks, the fame, and the whispers that won't stop. From Bangkok to Seoul, these 10 insanely handsome Asian actors have lit up the screen and left fans asking the same question. Are the rumors true? They never said yes, but they never said no either. Get ready for a countdown of beauty, mystery, and speculation. This isn't just a list, it's a glimpse behind the curtain of Asia's most talked about heartthrobs. Johnny Huang Jingyu, the soldier who set hearts on fire. You thought discipline belonged to the army, but Johnny Huang brought it straight to the screen, with abs sharp enough to cut silence and eyes that made viewers forget to breathe. A former Navy recruit turned overnight sensation, Johnny didn't just walk onto the stage, he stormed it, with the force of a man who had something to prove and secrets he didn't care to explain. In a world where every glance gets magnified and chemistry can't be faked, Johnny Huang's name keeps surfacing, not just for his roles, but for the rumors he never quite silenced. Born in 1992 in Liaoning, China, Johnny Huang Jingyu didn't take the traditional route to stardom. He served in the People's Liberation Army Navy, learning order, precision, and resilience. But in 2016, everything changed with Addicted, a web series that exploded across Asia. Playing one half of a passionate, forbidden love story between two young men, Johnny wasn't just acting, he was embodying a type of truth rarely shown on screen in China. The show was pulled, censored, erased. But Johnny's impact? Unforgettable. Fans didn't just ship the characters, they shipped him. Whispers followed him off set. Was it just the role, or was there more? As his fame grew with Operation Red Sea and Moonlight, so did the questions. Johnny, ever disciplined, never answered directly. He played it cool, posed with women on red carpets, but never quite killed the speculation. His silences said more than interviews ever could. He was a riddle wrapped in six-pack abs, wrapped in state-approved masculinity. Today, Johnny Huang remains one of China's most magnetic screen presences. Bold, talented, and undeniably beautiful. But beneath the surface lies something else. Maybe it's just the echo of a role he once played too well. Or maybe it's the quiet truth of a man who chose not to explain himself to a world obsessed with labels. Whatever the case, he left us wondering, and in entertainment, that's a power few ever hold. One thing's for sure, Johnny didn't just break boundaries. He dared us to question who gets to define them. Liu Wulei. He wasn't just China's golden boy, he was everyone's. Wulei, better known as Liu Wu, didn't wait for fame to find him. He hunted it down before he hit double digits. Born in 1999 in Shanghai, he made his TV debut at just 3 years old. By age 9, he had already appeared in dozens of commercials and was dubbed China's youngest drama king. While other kids were learning multiplication, Liu was mastering camera angles and memorizing scripts. But this wasn't some overbearing stage parent story. Liu loved the spotlight. It loved him back. His early roles showed range beyond his years, especially in historical dramas where his expressive eyes could flip from innocent to fierce in seconds. Directors noticed, audiences noticed, and slowly a child actor became something more, something harder to define. As Liu grew older, his charm didn't fade, it deepened. He took on complex roles in blockbusters like Nirvana in Fire and the Long Ballad, proving he wasn't just a child star, he was a serious actor. With that, the internet buzz grew louder. Millions followed his every move. His jawline sharpened, his body matured, so did the questions. Unlike many of his peers, Liu kept his private life locked tight. No messy relationships, no flashy scandals, just a smile, a wave, and a mystery. That silence became its own story. Rumors of Liu's sexuality started to swirl. Nothing confirmed, nothing denied. Just enough subtle glances and fan service moments with male co-stars to set social media on fire. Was it marketing? Was it real? Or was it just the fantasy of a fandom desperate for something more? Liu never gave them answers, and in that silence, the speculation only grew. In 2025, Liu Wu stands not just as a top-tier actor, but as a cultural enigma. At only 26, he's played sons, warriors, lovers, legends. But who is he really when the cameras stop rolling? Maybe that's the magic. Leo doesn't let the world define him, and he doesn't rush to define himself either. Whether he's straight, gay, or something in between isn't the point. The point is this: he's magnetic. He's timeless. He's Leo Wu, the boy who became a man in front of our eyes and somehow still keeps us guessing. Xu Kai. He was supposed to be a soldier. Instead, he became a fantasy. Before Xu Kai lit up screens across Asia, he was just another kid in Shenzhen, dreaming small. Born on March 5, 1995 in Guangdong Province, Xu Kai never set out to chase fame. In fact, his first passion was military service. He even trained for a future in the Chinese armed forces. But fate had other plans. After winning a local print modeling contest in 2013, the shy young man with sharp cheekbones and soft eyes was suddenly thrust into the world of fashion and fame. And he didn't just walk into it, he owned it. From modeling shoots to period epics, he moved like he belonged, even when he didn't believe it yet. Xu Kai signed with Huanju Film in 2016 and quickly made waves in costume dramas that set Chinese hearts racing. His breakout came in Story of Yanqi Palace, 2018, where he played the noble and tragic Fucha Fuheng, a performance that turned him from rising star into national obsession. With that success came a string of hits: The Legends, Arsenal Military Academy, Ancient Love Poetry, and Royal Feast. He played warriors, princes, lovers, always with the same magnetic presence. But behind the camera, Xu Kai stayed private. No scandals, no oversharing, just work and whispers. Whispers that he was too close to male co-stars. That his chemistry with certain actors felt a little too real. He never responded. He never denied. And maybe that silence was louder than any statement. What happens when a heartthrob doesn't play by your rules? You start to question your own. In 2025, Xu Kai remains one of China's most bankable stars. Handsome, poised, and perpetually just out of reach. Fans swoon, brands line up, and the tabloids, they keep guessing. Maybe he's gay, maybe he's not. What we know for sure: Xu Kai has mastered the art of mystery in an industry obsessed with certainty. And maybe that's what makes him so unforgettable. He isn't just a pretty face. He's a riddle wrapped in silk robes and piercing glances, the kind of enigma that makes you look twice and then wonder what you missed the first time. Park Bo-gum. What if the golden boy of Korean drama wasn't just acting the part, but hiding behind it? Park Bo-gum, the prince of perfect smiles and polite silences, has long held the image of South Korea's most eligible leading man. Born in Seoul in 1993, he didn't just grow into fame, he seemed destined for it. With striking visuals, a voice that could melt through ballads, and a natural magnetism that made viewers feel like he was speaking only to them, Bo-gum was built for the screen. From Reply 1988 to Love in the Moonlight, every role felt like another layer of charm added to his public persona. Pure, warm, dependable. But for all the roles he's played, the one he's worn longest might be the hardest. Perfection. Behind the scenes, Bo-gum's life has sparked endless fascination and speculation. Unlike many of his peers, he's never been linked to any confirmed romantic relationships. His closeness with fellow male actors, his emotional depth on screen, and his deep involvement with his church have all led fans to wonder, is there more to Bo-gum's story than he lets on? A viral photo here, an ambiguous quote there, and suddenly whispers become wildfire. Some say he's just private. Others say he's hiding a truth that South Korea's entertainment industry still struggles to accept. Through it all, Park Bo-gum remains silent, never confirming, never denying, just smiling that signature smile that feels both open and unreachable. Yet maybe the real Park Bo-gum is less about answers and more about quiet rebellion. He's never chased controversy, but neither has he run from it. He served in the military with dignity, chose to study music at university, and walked his own path while others chased trends. For some, that's proof of authenticity. For others, it's more mystery. In an industry obsessed with control, Park Bo-gum's greatest power may lie in what he withholds. Whether he's simply a shy romantic or a man shielding a deeper truth, one thing remains clear. Bogum continues to captivate not because of what he says, but because of what we still don't know. Song Kang. He was never supposed to be a heartthrob. In fact, when Song Kang first appeared on screen, most casting directors didn't see him as a leading man. Too quiet, too soft, too understated. But it was exactly that softness, the quiet way he drew you in, the subtle ache in his eyes, that turned him into one of Asia's most magnetic young stars. Born in 1994 in Suwon, South Korea, Song wasn't chasing fame from childhood. He didn't grow up in the spotlight. He studied film and theater at Konkuk University and kept his head down, perfecting his craft while others chased the flash. And when his breakthrough finally came, it wasn't loud. It was emotional. It was Love Alarm that lit the fuse. Playing a boy caught in a digital love triangle, Song Kang didn't just act. He unfolded on screen. His portrayal felt lived in, fragile, dangerously real. Fans didn't just watch him, they felt him. Then came Sweet Home, a dark, psychological horror where he flipped the script and revealed something even deeper. Vulnerability beneath survival. Suddenly, he wasn't just a pretty face, he was a storm of contradictions. Gentle yet intense, reserved but electric. And with roles in Nevertheless and Forecasting Love and Weather, he blurred the line between actor and emotion itself. Each performance was a window into something more complex than words, something quietly haunting. But with the rise came the whispers, the questions no one dared ask outright, but everyone kept repeating. Why does he avoid dating rumors? Why the deeply intimate chemistry with certain male co-stars? Why does he say so little about his personal life? Some say he's just private. Others claim there's something more, a hidden truth, a side of Song Kang that only shows through glances and silence. In 2025, the internet is still buzzing with speculation, but he remains unreadable, untouchable, unforgettable. Whether the rumors are true or not almost doesn't matter, because Song Kang has already done what few ever manage. He's made mystery into magnetism, and no one can look away. Choi Woo-shik, he wasn't supposed to be a star. When Choi Woo-shik moved to Canada at age 10, he was just another shy kid trying to blend in. Not a boy anyone expected to conquer Korean cinema. Soft-spoken, polite, and almost invisible in his early years, Woo-shik was more likely to be found sketching storyboards or scribbling in a notebook than chasing the spotlight. But there was something brewing quietly behind that calm exterior, a wild imagination, a love for performance, and a dream he didn't dare say out loud, to act. His return to Korea at 21 wasn't planned as a comeback, it was a leap of faith. He dropped out of college in Vancouver and landed back in Seoul with no guarantees. Just a gut feeling and a heart that burned too bright to ignore. Then came the twist no one saw coming. In a world obsessed with idols and loud personalities, Woo-shik's charm was the opposite. Delicate, quiet, devastatingly real. He didn't arrive with abs or an attitude, but he had depth. His breakout moment came in the indie circuit with Set Me Free, raw, unflinching, unforgettable. The industry took notice, then Train to Busan made him a familiar face. But it was Parasite and that legendary Best Picture win at the Oscars that turned him into a global name. And yet, even at the height of fame, Woo-shik stayed elusive. No dating scandals, no tabloid drama, just whispers. Was he straight? Gay? The rumors never stuck, but they never faded either, fueled by the quiet intimacy he brought to roles and his deep real-life friendships with male co-stars like Park Seo-joon and BTS's V. Fans shipped them. The internet spiraled. Woo-shik smiled but never confirmed, never denied. Now he walks the line between myth and man. At 34, Choi Woo-shik is not just a heartthrob. He's a chameleon, playing awkward college kids, hardened survivors, gentle lovers, even villains. Each role is a whisper, not a scream. He lets you feel, not just watch. And that's the magic. He's not the kind of actor who chases fame, he slips through it. Maybe that's why fans feel so deeply connected to him. Because he's never tried to be perfect. He just shows up, honest, quiet, complicated. In an industry that demands labels, Choi Woo-shik remains undefined. And maybe that's his boldest move of all. Born in Bangkok in 1991, Mew Supasit Jongchavivat was never the loudest in the room, but always the most prepared. He was top of his class, the pride of his family, the kind of son who didn't chase dreams but made plans. While others ran to auditions, Mew was writing academic papers, studying applied physics, and presenting at conferences. His first love was knowledge. Fame, that came later, and by accident. It started with modeling, then came side roles in dramas, and then Tharn Type, the series. The role that changed everything. In Tharn Type, Mew played Tharn, confident, controlled, and deeply in love with another man. It was a role that demanded more than performance. It needed vulnerability, nuance, and quiet power. And Mew delivered. The series exploded across Asia, sparking conversations about LGBTQ+ representation and making Mew the face of a new generation of romantic leads. He never officially came out, but the lines blurred. His chemistry with co-star Gulf Kanawut was electric. Fans didn't just see the love, they believed in it. And while some demanded answers, Mew stayed silent, letting the work and the ambiguity speak for itself. Meanwhile, he wasn't just acting, he was producing, directing, singing, creating his own path, not following anyone else's. Mew was no longer an academic, he was an empire. Behind the glossy photos and fan service lies a man of deep discipline and rare authenticity. Mew built his brand with care, choosing independence over instant fame. He launched his own company, produced his own music, and broke into the Billboard charts, all while staying grounded in what truly matters to him: integrity, intelligence, and impact. To his fans, Mew is more than an idol. He's proof that you can be smart and sexy, quiet and powerful, private and beloved. And maybe that's what makes Mew Supasit such a mystery. You can never quite pin him down, but you can't take your eyes off him either. Bright Vachirawit. They say lightning never strikes twice. But Bright Vachirawit proved it can strike over and over, as long as you know how to hold the sky. Born in 1997 in Nakhon Pathom, Thailand, Bright was never just another pretty face in a casting call. From the moment he stepped in front of the camera, he owned the frame like he built it himself. His mixed Thai-American Chinese heritage gave him a standout look, but it was his focus, razor-sharp and relentless, that set him apart. Before the fame, he juggled multiple jobs, studied engineering, and even dabbled in photography. He wasn't chasing dreams, he was building one, brick by brick. From BL phenomenon to global icon, then came Together, the series. The moment Bright locked eyes with Win Meta-Win on screen, Asia paused. Hearts skipped, social media exploded. Fans didn't just ship them, they archived every glance, every breath. But Bright didn't let the hype define him. While the world obsessed over his on-screen chemistry, he quietly turned himself into a global brand. He dropped music that hit millions of streams. He modeled for Burberry and graced covers from L'Officiel to GQ. He didn't ride the wave. He became it. Yet in the eye of every storm, he stayed composed, calculated, and just a little unreadable. And that mystery? It only made him burn brighter. But here's the part people don't say out loud. Bright's name always came with whispers. Is he? Isn't he? What's really going on with Win? With Do? With the way he looks at his co-stars? Like there's a secret only he knows? He's never said yes. He's never said no. And that silence, it's not weakness. It's control. Bright understands something most stars never do. In an industry obsessed with labels, sometimes your greatest strength is not letting them stick. He's not defined by any one thing. Not a role, not a relationship, not a rumor. He's a prism. Shift your angle, and he reflects something new. Ryota Kateos. He wasn't supposed to be the heartthrob. When Ryota Kateose first walked into Japan's entertainment world, he was quiet, almost invisible. A shy boy with a soft smile and a voice too tender for the chaos around him. But then, everything changed. One look, one song, one moment, and Ryota wasn't the background anymore. He was the spotlight. Born in 1994, Ryota grew up in a world of music, raised by a pianist father who taught him to feel before he performed. That feeling, it never left. When he joined Generations from Exile Tribe in 2012, fans didn't just hear him, they felt him. Suddenly, the boy with the gentle gaze was all anyone could talk about. He didn't ask to be idolized, but that's what happened. With every soulful ballad and smoldering glance, Ryota became Japan's dream boyfriend. But under all that fame came the fantasy. Rumors began to swirl. Was his chemistry with male co-stars just good acting, or something deeper? The gossip didn't stop there. Fans dissected interviews, body language, offstage moments. Some swore he was gay, others defended his privacy. Ryota never confirmed, never denied. He smiled, he sang. He let the world wonder, and maybe that's exactly how he wanted it. In a culture where image is everything, his mystery became his power. Today, Ryota Katayosa is more than just a pop idol. He's a father, a husband, married to actress Tao Tsuchiya, with whom he shares a child. But even in this new chapter, the aura remains. He walks through fame like a dream, half here, half untouchable. And maybe that's the real story. Not who he loves, but how he makes people feel. Ryota doesn't just perform, he creates an illusion. One that lingers long after the spotlight fades. Whatever the truth behind the whispers, he owns every note, every stare, every heartbeat. That's Ryota. Still quiet, still soft, and somehow still unforgettable. Miyuki. She had the face of a doll and the timing of a star. In the early 2010s, Miyuki seemed unstoppable, a rising icon with wide eyes and a screen presence that made directors look twice. She wasn't just another pretty face in Japan's entertainment machine. She was something different, soft but sharp, innocent but oddly knowing. And then, at the height of her potential, she vanished. No scandal, no headline, just silence. What happened to Miyuki? Born Rina Kano in Fukushima in 1999, she shot to fame at 13 after winning the Grand Prix in the Hori Pro Talent Scout Caravan, one of the most competitive in Japan. From that moment, she became Miyuki, the actress with an angelic look and chameleon talent. She jumped from role to role, from schoolgirl dramas to sci-fi thrillers, including Death Note, where she played the cold, calculated Nier. Her versatility made her one of the rare female stars able to cross genres with ease. In a world of idols trained to smile and stay silent, Mio had a quiet intensity that made her feel real. She wasn't chasing fame, it was chasing her. And then, nothing. After a few solid years in dramas, movies, and modeling campaigns, Miyuki seemed to fade from the spotlight. No farewell post, no press conference. She just quietly stopped appearing. Her social media froze. Rumors circled, health issues, burnout, a secret relationship, even whispers about her sexuality, none confirmed. Some claim she left by choice, rejecting the demands of an industry that asks too much from girls too young. Others believe she's preparing for a major comeback, training behind the scenes. Whatever the truth is, fans still search for her name, wondering if the girl who once felt so vivid will ever return. From viral sensation to unsolved mystery, Miyuki remains one of Japan's most captivating disappearances. And maybe that's what keeps her story alive. And there you have it, 10 faces, 10 mysteries, and 1,000 questions left unanswered. Whether they're out, rumored, or just living freely in their truth, one thing's for sure, their charm knows no limits. Got a favorite from the list? Or someone we missed? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because the stories behind the spotlight are just getting started. They're not just celebrities, they're mirrors reflecting how we see identity, mystery, and desire in today's world. This wasn't just about gossip. It was about how silence can speak louder than words, and how public figures navigate private truths in a culture obsessed with labels. Maybe the real lesson is this: we don't need all the answers to respect the journey. So if today's video made you think, feel, or question, like, share, and subscribe. Because the stories we tell reveal more about us than the people we watch. Win Medawin. He's got the face of a fairy tale prince, but behind those soft smiles and perfect jawlines, the internet has been whispering a different kind of story. Win Medawin, one of Thailand's most magnetic stars, didn't just rise to fame, he floated into it, wrapped in charm, luxury, and an air of mystery that only made fans fall harder. But fame, as always, comes with shadows. And in Win's case, those shadows look a lot like the lingering question: is he hiding something more than just his private life? It all started with the roles. From the moment Win starred in Together the series, the world took notice. Not just of his acting, but of his undeniable chemistry with co-star Bright Vachirawit. The Win Bright ship sailed at full speed, dominating fan pages, talk shows, and red carpets. But as their fame grew, so did the speculation. Photos, gestures, glances, every moment was dissected. Some said it was just fan service. Others weren't so sure. Then came the interviews, carefully worded, always respectful, yet never quite clear. Win spoke often of love but never named names. He praised his fans but dodged personal questions like a seasoned diplomat. And when the rumors about his sexuality picked up, the silence only fed the fire. Was it protection? Was it denial? Or was it something more complicated? The price of being both adored and watched. Still, Win remained composed, unbothered. He gave the public enough to admire, but never enough to define. And in that quiet space, fans projected their hopes, fantasies, and fears. Win became a mirror, one that reflected what people wanted to see. To this day, no confirmation, no denial, just a beautiful enigma, wrapped in designer suits and polite laughter. And maybe that's what makes him so powerful. He doesn't need to speak, because the whispers speak for him. But while Win keeps us guessing with every graceful step, there's another Thai star who took a very different route, one that involved reinvention again, and a few very loud headlines. Let's talk about Mike Angelo. Mike Angelo. He's got the looks of a leading man, the swagger of a global heartthrob, and a past that just won't stay quiet. Mike Angelo isn't just another pretty face in Thai entertainment. He's a full-blown phenomenon: singer, actor, dancer, idol. From the moment he stepped into the spotlight, fans across Asia couldn't take their eyes off him. But while the cameras captured his every move, whispers followed like shadows. Why did he suddenly go solo? What really happened with his ex? And most curiously, why does he dodge every question about his love life like it's a loaded trap? Born Mike Pirath Nitty he started as one half of the beloved duo Golf and Mike. But as the years passed and the duo faded, Mike reinvented himself. He took on international roles, mastered Chinese, became a father, and yet he remained an enigma. He shared pictures with his child but never with a partner. He played romantic leads on screen but never talked about who held his heart off screen. Tabloids speculated, fans dissected every pose, every quote, every friendship. Rumors swirled about his sexuality, about secret relationships, about reasons he never fully opened up. Mike, ever graceful, never confirmed, never denied. And that silence? It only made the public more curious. Because in an industry where image is everything, Mike managed to be both everywhere and still untouchable. Today, Mike stands as one of Thailand's most recognizable stars, talented, polished, and unreadable. Maybe that's part of his brilliance. Maybe some stories are more powerful when left unfinished. Or maybe, like many stars before him, he's playing the long game, waiting for the moment he can finally speak freely. But if Mike Angelo's chapter was full of mystery, the next one might just hold a spark of boldness. Because coming up next is a name that represents a new era, one that dares, flirts, and owns every whisper. Let's turn the spotlight now to a rising force, Phuin Tangsakyuan. Phuin Tangsakyuan, he's cute, he's chaotic, and according to half the internet, he's either your next boyfriend or your biggest mystery. Phuin Tangsakyuan doesn't just walk into a scene, he hijacks it. With one raised eyebrow and a wink that could end wars, Phuin has somehow turned every gaydar in Asia into a full-blown alarm system. Born in Bangkok and trained in drama since childhood, Phuin's rise wasn't exactly subtle. He came in hot, starring in school dramas, BLs, and more fan edits than even Jungkook might envy. But with great screen time comes great speculation. From the moment his chemistry with co-stars hit viral levels, fans weren't just watching the show. They were decoding every interaction like it was a CIA file. Is that hand-holding just acting? Did he really blush, or was that just the lighting? One grainy photo of Fu-in glancing at a male co-star too sweetly, and boom, welcome to Fan Theory HQ. In a country where skinship is normal and affection flows freely, Fu-in's playful nature only adds fuel to the fire. He posts TikToks that feel like date nights. He hugs like a rom-com lead. And don't even get us started on those accidental lip brushes with co-stars. Sure, he's never come out, but let's be real, even Sherlock Holmes would be confused. Fans have created entire Reddit threads analyzing his eye contact, and every time he posts with a guy, Twitter loses its mind like he just proposed on live TV. Still, through all the speculation, Fu-in remains, well, Fu-in. Unbothered, unlabeled, and probably somewhere backstage eating snacks. Now, just when you think the internet can't spiral any further, in walks Norwit Gemini Titicharoenrock. Tall, charming, and suspiciously good at finishing Fu-in's sentences. From red carpet side-eyes to live interviews where they basically flirt with microphones, these two have fandoms writing wedding vows. Are they best friends? Are they lovers? Or are they just feeding the chaos like the smart Gen Z kings they are? Whatever the answer, one thing's clear. If Fu-in is the spark, Gemini is the gasoline. And together, they're not just setting rumors on fire, they're making it look good. Norwit Titicharoenrock. He's got the smile that melts TikTok, the voice that flips hearts inside out, and the name that sparks way more rumors than it should, Gemini. But let's be clear, Norwit Titicharoenrock isn't just another BL star with dreamy eyes and a jawline sharp enough to slice mango. He's a walking mystery, a Gen Z heartthrob who somehow manages to keep his private life private in an era where people post their breakfast before they've even had coffee. Born in 2004 and launched to stardom through My School President, Gemini became the type of star whose chemistry with co-stars had fans writing fan fiction faster than you can say ship name. And oh, the ships. With his on-screen partner Fourth, their connection wasn't just convincing, it was chemically suspicious. Fans didn't just fall in love with the characters, they wanted to believe the love was real. And that's where the rumors began, in the space between performance and possibility. It starts innocently, right? A lingering glance in a live stream, a just best friends interview that feels too rehearsed, the matching outfits, the inside jokes. Suddenly, Gemini's every move is analyzed like a cryptic Taylor Swift lyric. Some fans insist he's just an excellent actor. Others swear there's something more, a slow burn romance happening right in front of us, disguised as fan service. But here's the twist. Gemini doesn't flinch. He doesn't shut down the speculation, but he doesn't feed it either. He lives in that delicious gray area where queerness can live, wink, and thrive. He teases, he dances, he drops just enough hints to keep the theories alive. Maybe he's queer, maybe he's just playing the game. Maybe, just maybe, he's both. And honestly, that's what makes him irresistible. So is Gemini queer? Straight? Somewhere in between? Only he knows, and he's not telling. Which in today's world of oversharing might be his most powerful move. Because mystery is the oldest form of seduction. And Norwit, he's mastered it. Whether the rumors are true or just fan fantasy, one thing's for sure. Gemini knows how to keep us watching, guessing, and swooning. Kim Hee-chul. He's funny, he's fierce, and he's never followed the rules. Kim Hee-chul wasn't built to be just another idol in a perfect suit. He was designed to confuse you, intrigue you, and maybe even scandalize you. Since debuting with Super Junior in 2005, Hee-chul has carved out a place in K-pop that's uniquely his own. While others perfected the clean-cut image of boy next-door charm, he leaned into flamboyance, into sass, into the kind of unpredictability that made fans scream and made critics whisper. With his sharp tongue, unapologetic fashion, and emotional honesty, Hee-chul became the wild card that Korean entertainment didn't know it needed. And maybe still doesn't know how to handle. For years, rumors swirled around his dating life, his friendships with female idols, and especially his close ties to male celebrities. Was it the way he wore eyeliner a little too confidently? Or the way he defied gender norms on variety shows, playfully crossing boundaries that most idols wouldn't dare touch? Heechul brushed it all off with a wink, a laugh, and a meme-worthy comeback. But for every denial, the speculation grew louder. Some fans praised him for queering the idol image, making space for softer masculinity in a hyper-masculine industry. Others, less kind, accused him of faking it for attention. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Kim Heechul has always been playing chess, while everyone else is stuck on checkers. To this day, Heechul has never confirmed any label. Not gay, not straight, not anything. And maybe that's the most powerful part. In a culture obsessed with boxes, he refuses to fit. Instead, he's built a career on contradiction. The soft rebel, the diva with depth, the scandal magnet who somehow never gets canceled. Whether he's dating a girl, holding hands with a guy, or simply being too comfortable in his own skin, Kim Heechul keeps the world guessing. And that's exactly how he likes it. The question isn't what he is, it's why we're all still trying to define him. Jin Akanishi. They say fame is loud, but sometimes the whispers are even louder. And when it comes to Jin Akanishi, the whispers, they've been following him like a shadow that wears designer sunglasses. Jin was the golden boy of J-pop, a heartthrob with bad boy energy, a voice that made fans swoon, and just enough rebellion to keep gossip columns busy. From his boy band glory days with Cat Tun to going solo and storming both Japanese and US stages, he had it all: talent, looks, and attitude. But somewhere along the way, the headlines stopped being about his music and started being about something else. Something suspiciously fabulous. Let's talk about those rumors. The ones that started as fan fiction and somehow evolved into full-blown Reddit threads, gossip site conspiracies, and yes, a few side eyes from industry insiders. The whispers said he was gay, or maybe bi, or maybe just so fashionably flirty that the labels couldn't keep up. People pointed to his close relationships with other male idols, the hugs that lingered, the eye contact that could melt Tokyo Tower, the way he never gave a straight answer about his love life. Pun absolutely intended. Then came the fashion choices, the androgynous looks, the bold stage costumes, the lyrics that seemed a little too emotionally nuanced for your average straight guy pop song. Fans started asking, is he sending a message, or are we just reading rainbow tea leaves in every Instagram post? But here's the kicker. Jin never confirmed, never denied. He danced around the topic like he was dodging paparazzi in Harajuku. And maybe that's the most Jin Akanishi thing of all. He knows how to control the narrative by not controlling it, by leaving just enough room for mystery, for interpretation, for imagination. Because whether Jin is queer, questioning, or just messing with all of us for fun, one thing's for sure, he's always in control. And while the rest of us are busy decoding tweets and side profiles, he's laughing backstage, sipping tea, and planning his next move. So what's the truth? Maybe only Jin knows, and maybe that's exactly how he wants it. Victor Ma, he wasn't the loudest in the room, but somehow you always heard him. Victor Ma didn't chase the spotlight. He became the light. With a guitar in one hand and poetry in his eyes, he emerged as one of China's most quietly powerful voices, a singer, actor, and heartthrob who makes you feel like he's singing just to you, while keeping just enough distance to leave you wondering, who is Victor Ma really? Born in New York City and raised between cultures, Victor never quite fit the mold, and he never tried to. Instead of pushing his way into fame, he let the music speak. And when he opened his mouth, it was less idol pop and more cinematic soul. Whether it was in Chuang 2021 or in a low-lit live session with nothing but a mic and a hoodie, he gave you art. But here's where the story takes a curious turn. He's talented, yes, fluent in English, Mandarin, emotion, and aesthetic. But fans didn't just fall for his voice, they fell for the mystery. Why did Victor always seem alone? Why was his energy so quietly intimate? Why did his lyrics sound like unsent letters? Then came the fan theories, rumors, Reddit threads, TikToks. Some said he was gay. Others said he was just really good at being soft and unreadable, like an indie film with no clear ending. Victor never confirmed, never denied, he just kept playing his music, letting his silence be louder than any statement. Maybe Victor Ma isn't here to give answers. Maybe he's the kind of guy who is the question. But let's be honest, isn't that part of the thrill? So what do you think? Is Victor just an artist lost in his craft? Or is he hiding more than chords behind those haunting melodies? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more untold stories, whispered rumors, and beautiful mysteries like this one. Choi Tae-jun, he was never the loudest in the room, but somehow you couldn't stop looking. Choi Tae-jun has always had that quiet fire, the kind that doesn't shout to be seen but smolders until you feel it in your chest. The handsome actor, known for his boyish charm and melancholic eyes, seemed tailor-made for romantic dramas and soft-spoken heroes. But behind that soft exterior, fans have always sensed something more. Something unsaid. And in South Korea, where image is everything, and deviation is whispered in back alleys, the silence around Choi became its own kind of statement. He wasn't trying to stand out, but the fact that he didn't play the game like everyone else made him impossible to ignore. The rumors started like they always do, quietly, cautiously. A photo here, a glance there. Online sleuths noticed the way he seemed to dodge public intimacy with women, the way he lit up around certain male co-stars, and the way he avoided questions about his personal life with a perfectly rehearsed smile. Some pointed to his strong friendship with fellow actors like Ji Chang-wook, calling it nothing more than brotherly love. But others, armed with speculation and a magnifying glass, saw coded messages in fan service, behind-the-scenes footage, and red carpet interactions. Was it all just imagination? Maybe. But when Choi Tae-jun suddenly took a step back from the industry, just as his career was reaching new heights, the whispers turned into full-blown theory threads. Did the pressure get to him, or was he hiding a truth the industry wasn't ready to accept? Then came the unexpected twist, a very public relationship, marriage even, with Park Shin-hye. To fans, it felt like a rebuttal to everything they'd been wondering. A denial? A confirmation in disguise? Or perhaps just another layer in a story that refuses to be one-dimensional? In the K-entertainment world, where celebrity couples are often crafted for optics, the line between performance and authenticity gets blurry. And with Choi, that line has never been easy to define. Maybe he's straight, maybe he's not. Maybe the real story is how we, the audience, demand labels where there are none. And forget that silence doesn't always mean shame. It could just mean, this part of me isn't for you. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain, Choi Tae-jun is more than the roles he plays and far more intriguing than the rumors that follow him. Hwang Yibo. Hwang Yibo is the kind of guy who could stand in absolute silence and still break the internet. A single stare from him has more drama than an entire K-drama season. He's a singer, actor, pro motorcycle racer, and, depending on which rumor mill you subscribe to, possibly dating 3 different people at once, none of whom he's ever acknowledged. Born in China, raised under spotlights, and adored by millions, Yibo has mastered the art of saying very little, while making the world scream for more. His fandoms are legendary, his performances go viral in seconds, and his dance moves, let's just say gravity has some explaining to do. But let's talk about the whisper campaign that's followed him like a glittery shadow, the gay rumors. Oh yes, they've been around for years, from alleged secret boyfriends to caught-in-the-act fan edits that rely more on eyeliner and camera angles than facts. The gossip just won't quit. Some say it started with his ultra-close bond with fellow actor Xiao Zhan. Too much chemistry, fans said. Others point to his fashion-forward style, his quiet demeanor, and the fact that he's never been spotted with a girlfriend. Because, obviously, in the world of internet detectives, not having a visible girlfriend equals confirmed gay. But here's the twist. Hwang Yibo has never commented. Not once. Silence, in this case, is its own kind of power, and maybe the loudest response of all. So is he? Isn't he? The truth is, it might not matter. Wang Yibo's entire appeal lives in that gray area. That electric space between what we know and what we think we know. Maybe that's why he drives motorcycles at 200 kilometers per hour. It's the only thing faster than the rumors chasing him. But let's be honest, part of the obsession is the mystery. The more he doesn't say, the louder we scream. And maybe that's the point. Because in the end, Wang Yibo isn't here to clarify your fan theories. He's here to leave you breathless, confused, and refreshing your feed for more. Anson Lo, he's the king of mirrors, the darling of the Hong Kong pop scene, and the man who can turn a hair flip into a headline. But for Anson Lo, fame hasn't just brought fans, it's brought whispers, loud ones. Every time he posts a pic with a male friend, the comment section turns into a courtroom. Every time he skips a girlfriend question, the internet's already drawing rainbow conclusions. And let's be honest, it doesn't help that Anson radiates that soft boy charm, with perfect skin, dew eyes, and a smile that says, "I know something you don't." He's polite, he's stylish, he choreographs like a dream. And apparently, that's all the evidence some fans need. Too cute to be straight, they say. Too single for too long, they speculate. And just like that, the rumors bloom. Again. Now, does Anson ever directly address these rumors? Not quite. He sidesteps them like a pro, with a wink, a giggle, or a carefully worded PR answer about focusing on career. He's mastered the art of saying just enough while saying nothing at all. But the more silent he stays, the louder the fandom gets. Theories swirl, conspiracies cook, TikToks break down every glance, every touch, every moment he shares with his mirror bandmates. One video claimed he looked too happy sitting next to a certain male co-star. Too happy? We're calling that evidence now? But here's the twist. The more people speculate, the more magnetic he becomes. Whether it's fair or not, the mystery is part of the brand. And Anson? He's smart enough to let the tension simmer, but never boil over. Here's the real tea. Maybe Anson's straight, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just a pop star who likes keeping the public guessing, because mystery sells better than any single. But one thing's clear, he's not just dancing in the spotlight. He's dancing around expectations. And in a world obsessed with labels, Anson Lo is one of the few stars who dares to say, "You don't need to know everything about me, just watch the performance." So go ahead, speculate, ship him. Analyze every photo like it's a courtroom exhibit. Anson? He'll be over here, rehearsing his next viral moment, flawless as ever. Because while rumors may trend, legends endure. They're not just celebrities, they're mirrors reflecting how we see identity, mystery, and desire in today's world. This wasn't just about gossip. It was about how silence can speak louder than words and how public figures navigate private truths in a culture obsessed with labels. Maybe the real lesson is this: we don't need all the answers to respect the journey. So if today's video made you think, feel, or question, like, share, and subscribe. Because the stories we tell reveal more about us than the people we watch. They're handsome, they're famous, and they've got one thing in common: rumors. In 2025, whispers travel faster than Wi-Fi. One suggestive rule, one blurry photo, one unexpected co-star, and suddenly fans are drawing conclusions with red string and conspiracy boards. No confirmations, no denials, just a storm of speculation. These stories don't ask for the spotlight, they demand it. And at the center of one of the loudest whispers is an actor whose silence speaks volumes. Kim Ji-woong. From the moment he stepped into the BL universe, Ji-woong wasn't just acting, he was disarming. His role in Roommates of Pungduk 304 didn't feel like fan service. It felt intimate, charged, like watching something you weren't supposed to see. He didn't play the role, he dissolved into it. Every glance lingered a second too long. Every touch felt personal. Fans couldn't tell where the character ended and the actor began. And that's when the rumors started to catch fire. It didn't help that off-screen he wasn't in a rush to clarify anything. While some idols panic at the first hint of gay rumors, Ji-woong kept it cool. He didn't deny. He didn't explain. He just smiled. The kind of smile that made people either fall in love or start a Reddit thread. And then came Number Boy, the spark that turned whispers into wildfire. In that music video, Holland, South Korea's openly gay pop star, poured his soul into a story of unspoken love. And who played the dreamy, conflicted ex-lover? Ji-woong, of course. Shirt slightly unbuttoned, eyes full of ache, and the kind of longing that doesn't come from acting class. The camera loved him. So did the narrative. And queer fans? They lost it. No straight man acts like that, some said. This is soft launching, others whispered. It wasn't just his performance, it was how natural it felt, like he'd lived it. But Ji-woong? Still no answers. No tweets, no interviews dodging the question. He plays the game differently, letting people think what they want. He's either the most secure straight man in the industry or the most graceful closet in K-drama land. Some fans think it's queer-baiting. Others think he's quietly queer, protecting his space in a still judgmental industry. But maybe, just maybe, he's not playing a role at all. Maybe this is just him. What makes Ji-woong so fascinating isn't just the speculation. It's how comfortable he seems in the ambiguity. He leans into romance scenes with full sincerity. He accepts queer-coded roles with open arms. And he never rushes to slap a label on anything. Not himself, not his work, not his image. In a world obsessed with definition, Kim Ji-woong thrives in suggestion. And honestly, that may be the most subversive move of all. So now the question is yours, just a brilliant actor with good instincts, or something more between the frames? Let us know what you think. Jung Yun-ho. If you've been in the K-pop world long enough, you know one thing. No idol escapes the rumor mill. And when it comes to Jung Yun-ho, the fiercely charismatic leader of TVXQ, the whispers weren't just loud, they were screaming in fan edits. For years, Yun-ho and fellow member Jae-jung were the stars of a ship that practically had its own zip code. Yunjae wasn't just a fan theory, it was a lifestyle. Fans saw them exchanging glances on stage, whispering backstage, sharing matching accessories. And naturally, the internet did what it does best: overanalyze, fantasize, and turn every look into a love confession. But here's the twist. The rumors didn't just come from delusional fangirls with too much free time. Even Changmin, Yunho's longtime groupmate, once joked in an interview that he thought Yunho might be gay during their trainee days. Why? Because the guy never dated women, was super close with his male friends, and honestly, looked like he just walked out of a K-drama love triangle. Yunho, for his part, laughed it off and clarified that nope, he's into women. Case closed? Not so fast. Because this is K-pop, baby. And in K-pop, the more you deny, the more fans dig. People started pointing out how Yunho never had a public girlfriend, how he seemed too respectful around female idols, and how the emotional tension between him and Jae-jung could rival any BL series on Viki. Some fans even swore they had proof, a blurry photo here, a cryptic quote there. At one point, there was even a conspiracy that SM Entertainment split TVXQ just to keep Yunjae apart. Now, that's commitment to the bit. And yet, through it all, Yunho never lost his cool. He danced through the rumors with sharp moves, gave passionate speeches about dreams and hard work, and kept his private life just that, private. Whether he's straight, gay, or somewhere in between, the man has charisma in buckets and enough mystery to fuel shipping wars for another decade. So what do you think? Was Yunjae just a bromance built for fan service? Or was there more behind those stares and smirks? Drop your theories in the comments. Just don't forget to grab popcorn first. Hyunbin, so handsome, it's suspicious. Let's get one thing straight, or maybe not so straight. Because when someone looks like Hyunbin, acts like Hyunbin, moves like Hyunbin, at some point someone's gonna say, wait a minute, is he gay? And honestly, it's a fair question, not because of any actual evidence. Nope, the man has done nothing even remotely confirming that rumor. He's dated A-list actresses, married Sun Ye-jin, literal national goddess, has a baby, lives the dream, checks every hetero box on paper. But here's the thing, Hyunbin is too perfect. The bone structure? Suspicious. The suits? Tailored within an inch of their lives. The hair? never moves, ever, even when he's being chased by explosions, assassins, or worse, feelings. And let's talk about that secret garden kiss. Oh, you remember. That accidental body switch, suddenly sharing a kiss with Yoon Sang-hyun. The chemistry was alarmingly natural. Too natural. Like, hey now, what's going on here? Fans paused, rewound, rewatched. The internet did what it always does, exploded, and boom, Hyunbin gay entered Google history forever. Of course, that was just acting, like very good acting. Maybe too good. Still, some folks weren't convinced. He's charming, soft-spoken, wears turtlenecks unironically, never had a messy scandal, always says the right thing. It's giving mysterious. It's giving curated. It's giving he's either a perfect husband or he's in a long-term situationship with his stylist. But here's the twist. Maybe the reason the rumor sticks is because we just can't wrap our heads around a man being this flawless and this straight at the same time. It's like the universe had to balance things out. So we did what humans do. We speculated. In the end, Hyunbin's sexuality isn't our business. But the fascination? Oh, it's real. Because if he's gay, he's the best kept secret in K-drama history. And if he's straight, well, he still made millions of fans of all genders feel things they weren't prepared for. So whether he's Team Rainbow or just a really well-moisturized husband, Hyunbin is living rent-free in our imaginations. And maybe that's the real power of a superstar. Greg Shu. Greg Shu walks into a room and suddenly, everyone forgets what they were talking about. Straight women swoon, gay men whisper, lesbians reconsider, and somewhere someone is Googling, is Greg Shu, you know? It's a question that's been bouncing around faster than a WeChat message in a nosy auntie group chat. And for good reason. Taiwan's favorite heartthrob doesn't just play gay roles, he commits. Like Oscar-worthy, eye contact, chemistry so hot you sweat through your shirt level of commitment. It's not just acting, it's acting with intention. And when he showed up in Marry My Dead Body, marrying a male ghost with more sincerity than most straight couples in rom-coms, fans were like, wait a minute. But that wasn't the first time Greg gave audiences a reason to raise their perfectly trimmed eyebrows. Flashback to Nowhere Man. Gritty, intense, and oh yes, fully nude. That's right. Homeboy stripped down, played a gay character in prison, and left viewers emotionally confused and sexually awakened. And in true Greg Shu fashion, he did it all with a straight face, literally. No winks, no jokes, just vulnerability, rawness, and a shower scene that launched 1,000 fan edits. So now, every time Greg posts a photo with another handsome male co-star, fans don't see friendship, they see foreshadowing. Look at that elbow graze. Did you see how long he held that hug? Why does he always play queer-coded characters? The fandom is on it. TikTok detectives, Twitter theorists, Reddit deep dives. It's a full-time job decoding Greg's sexuality, and no one's been hired, but everyone's working overtime. And yet, despite the whispers, the theories, and the very passionate fan fiction, Greg Shu remains beautifully, infuriatingly silent. No confirmation, no denial. Just that same mysterious smirk, that emotionally intelligent gaze, and an Instagram feed that's 50% fashion shoot and 50% thirst trap. So, is he gay? Straight? Bi? Ace? Playing us all like a master of queer ambiguity? Honestly, maybe the answer doesn't even matter. What matters is that Greg Shu is living proof that masculinity doesn't need a label. It just needs good lighting, excellent jawlines, and the audacity to marry a ghost in a police uniform. And whether he ever comes out or not, one thing's for sure, we're all watching closely. Question is, are you crushing because he's hot or because he might just be a little too relatable? Let us know in the comments, and try not to rewatch that scene again, or do. We won't judge. Fandy Fan, he's got the face of a pop prince and the body of a varsity heartthrob. But Fandy Fan isn't just another pretty boy from Taiwan. Oh no. He's a walking headline, a human Rorschach test for fans with, let's say, creative imaginations. And in 2025, there's one rumor that just won't quit. Is Fandy Fan gay? Let's rewind. Back in 2018, Taiwan was busy legalizing same-sex marriage, and right on cue, Fandy showed up on screen? falling head over heels for a guy. In history too, crossing the line, he played a closeted athlete with deep eyes and even deeper secrets. Audiences didn't just watch, they melted. Suddenly, everyone from Taipei to Tumblr was convinced. No one kisses another man that convincingly, unless there's a little method acting. In the bedroom. Then came the fan edits. The "did you see how long he held that gaze" TikToks. The proof threads longer than a Netflix contract. And let's be honest, the man does have suspiciously good skin, suspiciously perfect jawlines, and a suspicious lack of public ex-girlfriends. In an industry that loves to link up co-stars faster than a dating app, Fandy's dating history is more protected than a Marvel script. The only confirmed romance? A fleeting tabloid whisper about pop star Kuo Shuyao, who called him her soulmate, which is exactly what every gay man's best girlfriend calls him, isn't it? But here's the twist. Fandy never denied anything. He never confirmed it either. He just smiles, that smile that says, "I know what you're thinking, and I'm not telling you a damn thing." Which, of course, only makes the internet spiral harder. Is he protecting his privacy, or preserving the mystery? Is he quietly proud, or playfully trolling? Or maybe, just maybe, he's too busy being Fandy Fan to explain who he kisses off screen. So, is Fandy Fan gay, straight, bi? An alien sent to blur every line and look flawless doing it? We may never know. But one thing's for sure. When it comes to keeping fans guessing, Fandy's not crossing any lines. He's drawing them. Right through our hearts. Simon Gongjun. Let's be honest. If you're tall, handsome, and star in a hit BL drama in China, you're basically signing a contract with the rumor gods. And Simon Gongjun? He didn't just sign. He autographed that baby with a flourish. Ever since Word of Honor had fans fanning themselves into oblivion, Gongjun hasn't been able to walk down the street without someone whispering, "Do you think he's..." He plays gay too well, they say. He looks too comfortable with another man's hand in his. He smiles too gently. And to that we say, is there a manual somewhere that explains how straight men should smile? But the rumors didn't stop at soft glances and on-screen chemistry. Oh no. In the great game of Chinese social media, the conspiracy theories leveled up fast. There were whispers that he once worked at a male escort club, that he had a secret child, that he insulted Xiao Zhan. At one point, it felt like Gongjun was playing gay, straight, villain, and saint, all in 1 week, depending on which gossip forum you opened. His studio naturally went full lawyer mode, issuing statements like, "These rumors are malicious fabrications. We will pursue legal action." Translation, "Stop it, or we sue." And here's the thing, Gongjun himself? He says nothing. Not a peep, not a clapback. Just flawless selfies, promo shoots, and the occasional brooding stare that could melt a glacier. If he's hiding something, he's doing it with Oscar-worthy elegance. Fans, of course, are split. Half are convinced he's a queer icon in disguise. The other half are busy shipping him with whichever co-star smiled at him last. And the rest? Just here for the drama and the fan edits. So, is Simon Gongjun actually gay? Or is he just a really good actor with perfect cheekbones? We don't know. But here's what we do know. If loving Gongjun is wrong, the internet doesn't want to be right. Xu Kai. Xu Kai, the dazzling Chinese heartthrob who makes hearts flutter from Beijing to Bangkok, has become the subject of whispers louder than his drama plot twists. Every time he appears shirtless on screen, which, let's be honest, is often, the comment section splits in two. Half are screaming husband goals, the other half are asking, wait, is he even into women? The rumors started like any good drama, out of nowhere, with no proof, and with just enough mystery to keep fans digging. It didn't help that Xu Kai has 0 confirmed relationships. Sure, there were rumors about him and Bai Lu, some talk about a fling with Zhou Ye, even a headline or two linking him to Tan Song-yoon. But ask him directly, you'll get that smirk, a shrug, and silence that screams plot twist coming soon. Now let's be clear, having no public girlfriend in 2025 doesn't mean a man is gay. Maybe Xu Kai's just picky, or private, or too busy being shirtless in ancient costumes to swipe right. But fans online have turned sleuths. One forum claimed he shares too many cute moments with his male co-stars. Another pointed out he follows more men than women on social media. And one TikTok clip, just one, where he hugged a friend too long, instant gay panic. Viral. Millions of views, zero context. Of course, it doesn't help that he's almost too perfect. The jawline, the skin, the eyebrows that look threaded by angels. Straight men aren't supposed to be this well-groomed, right? That's the logic some netizens are running with. But here's the kicker. Shukai plays it cool. He never confirms, never denies, and somehow that just makes everyone more obsessed. Genius PR move? Or just a guy living his life, unbothered? Whether Shukai is secretly gay, playfully ambiguous, or just immune to the dating circus altogether, one thing's for sure. The mystery is half the fun. And until he shows up on a red carpet holding hands with someone, man or woman, the rumors will keep spinning faster than a palace intrigue subplot. So, what do you think? Is Shukai just a private Prince Charming, or is there a little more rainbow in his royal wardrobe? Liu Wulei. He was China's golden boy, the kind mothers adore, producers trust, and fans scream for. Liu Wulei grew up on screen, glowing under studio lights since he was a kid. But as he transformed from child star to leading man, fans noticed something strange. No scandals, no dating history, no caught-on-camera drama. Just one clean-cut, polite, suspiciously perfect young man. Naturally, the internet did what it does best, spiral. Why doesn't he have a girlfriend? One Weibo user asked. Maybe he's just focused on his career, replied another. But then someone dropped the gay bomb. Guys, what if Wulei isn't into girls at all? And just like that, the rumor mill caught fire faster than a drama trailer at midnight. Sure, Wulei has played plenty of romantic leads. He's kissed on screen, looked longingly into co-stars' eyes. But fans, the real detectives, noticed a pattern. The chemistry, sometimes colder than an iced milk tea, especially with female leads. They look like siblings. One fan wrote under a clip of Love Like the Galaxy. Others joked that Wulei looked more in love with the lighting director than with his romantic interest. Then came the Zhao Lucy phase. Cute co-stars, sweet interviews, matching outfits. Fans shipped them so hard, they started building wedding playlists. But Wulei? Stone-faced. Always polite, always dodging questions about love like a ninja in a palace drama. When asked if he was dating, he replied, "I don't have time." Classic, yet suspicious. Behind the charm and perfect cheekbones, many still wonder, is there something he's not telling us? After all, Leo's real-life dating history is more mysterious than a Xianxia plot twist. No paparazzi photos, no scandals, no drunken karaoke slips. And in the age of oversharing, silence is louder than ever. Of course, none of this confirms anything. But in 2025, when being queer is finally celebrated more than feared, fans are no longer whispering behind screens. They're cheering for representation. And whether Liu Wulei is gay, straight, bi, or just married to his career, one thing's for sure, he's got us all watching, guessing, and maybe secretly hoping for a bold revelation someday. So Leo, if you're ever ready, we're all ears. Or at the very least, we'll settle for a wink. Baiyu. There's something about Baiyu. Maybe it's the eyes, thoughtful, a little sad, like he's always carrying a secret. Maybe it's the voice, deep, calm, and just sexy enough to make you want to Google his dating history at 2 a.m. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the way he looked at Zhu Yilong in Guardian that launched 1,000 shipping wars and a decade's worth of fanfiction. Let's not pretend. When Guardian dropped in 2018, the internet lost its collective mind. Two handsome men, solving crimes by day and sharing tender glances by night. It wasn't just a bromance. It was the kind of slow burn, emotionally repressed, potentially very gay tension that had fans creating entire conspiracy theories with whiteboards and string. And then it started. The whispers. Are they just good friends? Why does Baiyu always look like he's about to kiss Zhu Yilong in behind-the-scenes clips? Did you see that one photo? The way Bai touched his shoulder? That wasn't straight behavior. To be fair, Baiyu never really denied or confirmed anything. When asked about the show, he simply said it was his first time playing a gay character and that he found the script very bold. Translation? I know what y'all are thinking, and I'm not gonna stop you. And let's not forget the girlfriend rumors. Supposedly, he dated actress Liu Mengmeng years ago, but no paparazzi shots, no cute selfies, no dramatic Weibo breakups, just silence. Like a perfectly timed plot twist in a C-drama, fans were left wondering, is she real? Is she a cover? Or is she just tired of being erased by gay fan edits? Meanwhile, Bayu keeps doing what he does best, acting his heart out, breaking hearts left and right, and absolutely refusing to clarify anything. Maybe that's the brilliance of it all. Maybe Bayu is the ultimate tease, not just in romance, but in identity. He gives you just enough to wonder, never enough to know. And in a world that loves to label, maybe his greatest rebellion is refusing to be defined. Now you tell me, after Guardian, after the fan cams, the longing looks, the lack of public girlfriends, do you really think it's just a rumor? Or is Bayu the mystery we're all dying to solve? Peng Yuchang. It all started with a smile. Not the average toothy I'm on a red carpet kind of smile. No, Peng Yuchang's smile was gentler, sweeter. A smile that whispered, I know something you don't. And in the ruthless pixel-perfect world of Chinese entertainment, that was enough. Fans didn't need a scandal. Just a slightly tender gaze into another man's eyes on screen, a suspicious lack of a girlfriend off-screen, and boom. Welcome to the Queer Rumor Olympics. Internet detectives were practically taking DNA samples from his roles in Go Brother and An Elephant Sitting Still to decode hidden messages. And when he played a sensitive violinist in The Prince of Tennis, it wasn't just the strings that people thought he was plucking. Now let's be honest. Peng Yuchang never actually said anything to spark these whispers. But that's the thing about rumors, they don't knock. They barge in wearing rainbow flags and shouting, we've cracked the code. From the way he avoids girlfriend talk in interviews, to the way his Instagram has a suspiciously low female-to-food photo ratio, fans began building conspiracy boards like they were solving a murder mystery. He's too close with male co-stars, one fan tweeted. He wore a velvet jacket in May, said another. Case closed. And just when the gossip mill started cooling down, someone uploaded a fan edit of him and another male actor gazing into each other's eyes in slow motion, set to Troye Sivan. Let's just say, the comment section caught fire. But here's the twist. Peng doesn't deny it. He doesn't confirm it. He just lives. While other stars post photos with their secret girlfriends in grainy lighting, Peng Yuchang posts ramen. While some celebs stage paparazzi moments, Peng films himself playing the flute in a hoodie. If that's not queer-coded peace, I don't know what is. Maybe he's gay. Maybe he's just an introvert with soft lighting and a killer skincare routine. Either way, he's got half the internet debating his bedroom secrets and the other half wanting his moisturizer brand. So Peng, if you're reading this, don't worry. You don't owe anyone an answer. Just keep smiling. Mysteriously. And there you have it, 10 of Asia's most dazzling stars, each one wrapped in fame, mystery, and a whisper of rainbow-colored rumor. From secret glances to silence in interviews, these men have kept fans guessing and gossip columns thriving. But whether they're truly gay, queer-coded, or just fabulously misunderstood, one thing's clear, the curiosity isn't fading anytime soon. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the whispers behind the spotlight, don't forget to like, comment, and hit subscribe, because this is just the beginning. See you in the next scandal. The rumors aren't new, and if you've watched our last videos, you know they run deep. But this time, we're taking you into Asia's biggest names. 10 male stars with whispers behind every smile. Are they just fan fantasies, or is there something more behind the silence? From K-pop idols to drama kings, these faces hide more than just talent. Let's dive into the questions no one dares to ask. The dancer who moved in silence. Rikimaru Chikata isn't just a dancer. He's a force of nature wrapped in rhythm. Born in Japan, trained across continents, and raised under global spotlights, Rikimaru didn't just perform. He hypnotized. He first captured hearts through K-pop stages, then rose to stardom as a member of Into One, a multinational boy group born from China's Produce Camp 2021. But beyond his choreography and razor-sharp moves, it was the way he moved off stage that made fans whisper. The soft glances, the unspoken intimacy, the kind of body language that didn't perform queerness, it embodied it. Throughout the show and beyond, he was closely linked to fellow male contestants. They hugged, leaned on each other, held hands, but when Rikimaru did it, something felt different. Fans clipped every second, slowed down every glance, and turned moments into theories. Was he flirting? Was it affection or a carefully coded message? He never said, never clarified, and yet he never denied it either. In a world where male idols are trained to perform heterosexual desirability, Rikimaru simply didn't play along. He let the ambiguity breathe. And fans breathed with him. His fan cams were romanticized like love stories. His chemistry with male idols sparked debates across TikTok, Weibo, and YouTube. Some accused him of queerbaiting, capitalizing on suggestion without confirmation. But others saw something bolder, a man refusing to define himself for anyone's comfort. In a scene built on rigid gender expectations, Rikimaru danced, literally and metaphorically, in the space between. And for many queer fans, that was enough. He didn't need to come out. He just needed to exist, unapologetically. Because in a world that demands clarity, sometimes mystery is resistance. Rikimaru may never say the words fans crave, but his presence alone bends expectations. He reminds us that queerness isn't always loud, declared, or wrapped in rainbow flags. Sometimes it's a movement, a moment, a choice to let the world wonder and keep dancing anyway. The mystery hidden in a perfect resume. From child prodigy to leading man, Yeo Jin-gu has done everything right. He entered the industry with innocence, dazzled audiences with emotional depth, and transitioned seamlessly into adult roles without scandal or rebellion. But for someone so famous, so present in the public eye, there's something oddly missing. No girlfriend rumors, no late-night dates, no caught-on-camera headlines. In a world where every male actor is eventually paired, if not by reality, then by tabloids, Yeo remains untouched. And that silence became its own kind of spotlight. Fans started noticing the patterns, the way he dodged dating questions in interviews with polite vagueness, how his closest emotional ties always seemed to involve male co-stars. His chemistry with IU in Hotel del Luna was electric, sure, but the way he looked at fellow actors behind the scenes, that's what sparked entire threads online. Fans pointed to his soft-spoken nature, his lack of machismo, his subtle protectiveness toward male colleagues, and the way he always kept his private life off limits. In K-drama culture, where illusion is often curated, Yeo Jin-gu's refusal to even pretend became its own queer question mark. Of course, none of this is proof. He's never addressed the speculation, never hinted, never slipped up. But that didn't stop the rumors from growing, or the fan edits from blooming into love letters. Entire Tumblr pages are dedicated to gay-coded Yeo Jin-gu moments. On Twitter, users joke he's the kind of man who gives off the vibe without needing the label. And perhaps that's why his name keeps appearing in discussions of closeted stars, not because of what he says, but because of what he doesn't. In a culture that often demands labels, Yeo Jin-gu's neutrality becomes a kind of quiet defiance. Maybe he's straight, maybe he's not. Maybe he just values privacy more than performance. But in that uncertainty lies a powerful truth, that sometimes staying undefined is the bravest stance of all. Not because it answers questions, but because it dares not to. And while Yeo remains an elegant question mark, our next actor is a walking contradiction. Heartthrob of the decade, and yet strangely, always alone. The golden boy no one could touch. Kim Soo-hyun is the face of a perfect man. Sharp jawline, deep voice, emotional range that makes scripts feel real. He starred in blockbusters, top drama charts, and broken hearts across Asia, all without ever showing us who he truly is. While the tabloids chase after every co-star he smiles at, nothing sticks. No confirmed girlfriend, no public romance, just a dazzling mask and a locked door behind it. For over a decade, rumors have followed him like a shadow. Quiet, persistent, never quite loud enough to break the surface, but never going away either. The speculation reached its peak after his close friendship with actor Lee Hun-woo made headlines. They vacationed together, posted cozy selfies. Fans noticed the tenderness in the way they looked at each other, the kind of intimacy that goes beyond ordinary friendship. Some brushed it off. Others, especially queer fans, read between the lines. What's striking isn't what Kim Soo-hyun has done, it's what he hasn't. He's never indulged in performative masculinity, never taken part in the industry's PR dating games. While his dramas often feature intense heterosexual love stories, his real life remains carefully edited, distant, elegant, and private. That deliberate silence became its own kind of signal. Not confirmation, not denial, just space. In that space, fans project, because Kim Soo-hyun invites interpretation. Maybe he's gay, maybe he's not. But in an industry that forces most stars to pick a side, his ambiguity is powerful. He allows millions to dream, question, hope, and in doing so, he becomes more than a celebrity. He becomes a canvas. But while Kim paints in ambiguity, the next actor wears his emotions on his sleeve, and that vulnerability has made him one of the Philippines' most compelling queer icons. The actor who chose truth over typecasting. In a country where masculinity is often boxed into loudness, bravado, and dominance, Christian Babels broke the mold. His breakout role in Die Beautiful wasn't just a performance, it was a revolution. Playing a transgender woman with heart, dignity, and complexity, he didn't just earn awards, he earned a place in queer cinematic history. And yet, it wasn't just the character that sparked conversations. It was Christian himself. His tenderness off-screen, the way he spoke about identity with depth and care, and the way he refused to shy away from queer narratives, made fans wonder, how much of the role was really acting? For years, Christian danced around the speculation. He never shouted labels, but he never distanced himself either. He played gay, queer, effeminate, trans, with conviction. And when critics warned him he'd be typecast, he shrugged and chose the role anyway. In interviews, he's spoken openly about the LGBTQ+ community, not as an outsider, but as someone deeply invested. Someone who understands. Someone who has lived, felt, and maybe even loved in ways the public will never fully know. But in the Philippines, where conservative values still grip the mainstream, being linked to queerness can cost you everything. And yet Christian continues. He takes queer roles not because they're safe, but because they matter. His name comes up not just in gossip columns, but in college lectures, queer film festivals, and coming out stories across Southeast Asia. Whether gay or not, he has become a symbol of allyship, of courage, of quiet rebellion. Christian Babels reminds us that representation isn't about confirming your sexuality. It's about choosing your legacy. You may never give the world a label, but in every role he takes, he tells young queer Filipinos, you exist, you matter, and your story is worth telling. And while Christian stood tall in front of the spotlight, the next actor stayed hidden behind it, charming millions but revealing almost nothing. Let's talk about Lee Joon-gi. The androgynous idol who kept us guessing, long before gender-fluid fashion hit K-dramas, Lee Joon-gi was already doing it. Eyeliner, chokers, soft jawlines, and a gaze that could cut through any role he played. From The King and the Clown to Moon Lover's Scarlet Heart Ryo, he embraced characters that blurred lines between hero and victim, masculine and feminine, actor and enigma. He wasn't just playing roles. He was inviting the audience into a space where identity refused to settle into categories. And naturally, the rumors came. It didn't help, or perhaps it did, that Lee Joon-gi avoided romantic scandals altogether. No public girlfriends, no tabloid-worthy flings. Instead, fans got fan service. Photo shoots dripping with sensual ambiguity, intimate concert performances with male co-stars, behind-the-scenes clips where he laughed a little too closely, stared a little too long. Nothing explicit, but just enough to spark decades of curiosity. Was it just his style? A calculated image? Or was he quietly challenging Korea's rigid ideas of manhood? Over time, the queer fan base embraced him as their own. Lee became a fantasy, not because he confirmed anything, but because he represented something freer. He showed that beauty didn't have to be rough, that emotional vulnerability didn't make you weak, that a man could wear silk and shadows and still steal the scene. He never made any declarations, but his silence became a canvas for longing, for speculation, and for hope. In a world where coming out still carries real cost, maybe Lee Junji gave us something else. A performance where queerness was never denied, just carefully coded. And if he never says the words, does that make his truth any less real? Or maybe the better question is, why do we still need the words at all? The idol prince wrapped in silence, Park Bo-gum, was made for the spotlight. The kind that loves soft features and even softer hearts. With a face sculpted for period dramas and a smile that feels like spring, he didn't just become a star, he became a national treasure. And in his latest drama, When Life Gives You Tangerines, he once again plays the gentle everyman, masking pain with politeness, longing with silence. But it's that very silence that speaks loudest. Throughout his career, Park Bo-gum has remained squeaky clean. No confirmed relationships, no scandals, no PR-generated romances. Instead, what fans have gotten are lingering friendships with male co-stars, an extremely private personal life, and a trail of speculation he has never acknowledged. One of the most persistent rumors involved his unusually close bond with actor Song Joong-ki. Their public displays of affection, matching outfits, and deep friendship sparked waves of online analysis. Though both men stayed silent, the gossip only grew louder. Park Bo-gum's image has always leaned soft, emotionally expressive, humble, deeply religious, and unfailingly polite. But this very softness became a target. In an industry where male actors are praised for toughness and edge, his gentleness raised eyebrows. Was it just his personality? Or was he hiding something behind the angelic smile and slow, deliberate words? Every quiet pause, every poetic interview answer, they all became puzzle pieces in the minds of fans desperate to understand who he really was. So now we turn the spotlight on you. Among the 5 men we've explored so far, who do you think truly lives a life behind the rumor? Who's the one you believe might be gay? And which of them do you love the most? Let us know in the comments, because the next half of our list is only getting more intriguing. The boyfriend of every fantasy, but whose? They call him the son of Netflix, the perfect boyfriend of every drama, soft-spoken and devastatingly gorgeous. From Love Alarm to My Demon, Song Kang has built a career on slow glances and emotional depth. But for all the hearts he's captured on screen, he's given very little of his own. No public romances, no scandals, just a carefully curated distance and growing curiosity about what lies beneath. Fans have long questioned how someone so romantic on screen could be so silent in real life. No dating rumors, no messy headlines, just a polite smile and a growing fan base, including many queer viewers who saw something unspoken in his performances. Especially in Nevertheless, the way he interacted with male co-stars sparked theories that went beyond acting. It wasn't loud, but it lingered. His appeal lies in the details. The subtle body language, the gentle energy he brings to both male and female co-stars. Some say he's just good at fan service. Others see it as coded queerness, a quiet refusal to fit the box. And when he's off-screen, still polished, still unreadable. On Instagram, in interviews, at events, Song Kang always looks like a man who knows exactly what not to say. And that's where the speculation thrives, in the absence of certainty. Song Kang isn't flamboyant or defiant. He's quiet, magnetic, perfectly controlled. Maybe that's who he really is. Or maybe, like many before him, he's playing the part the world expects. Either way, his silence reminds us that sometimes what's left unsaid is the loudest truth of all. And while Song Kang gave us quiet ambiguity, the next actor's story crashes into headlines. From modeling fame to legal storms, Nam Joo-hyuk never had the luxury of staying quiet. The golden boy who cracked under pressure. Nam Joo-hyuk was once the blueprint, tall, handsome, athletic, and effortlessly charming. From weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-joo to startup, He played the guy every girl wanted and every guy wanted to be. His image was clean, soft yet masculine, the very definition of a 21st century K-drama heartthrob. But in 2022, everything shifted. Bullying allegations surfaced, turning the nation's sweetheart into a subject of scrutiny overnight. And quietly, amid the chaos, another layer of gossip returned, the whispers about his sexuality. Long before the scandal, fans were already curious. Nam Joo-hyuk rarely spoke about love or relationships. He avoided flirtatious interviews. He didn't chase attention, didn't play the flirt, and kept his circle small, often with male friends, some of whom appeared in unusually intimate photos. One selfie, in particular, two men in bed, shirtless, smiling, exploded online. Though it was later debunked as someone else, the damage was done. For many, it confirmed what they had long suspected, or hoped. To some, he was the emotionally intelligent boyfriend Korea needed. To others, he was queer-coded without ever stepping into the frame. But after the bullying controversy, people looked again. Was his quiet demeanor introspection or hiding? Was the lack of female dating rumors a red flag or a red herring? And in the world of K-dramas, where image is everything, his sudden fall from grace blurred the lines between character and reality even more. What remained was the face, still beautiful, still tragic. But behind the tragedy, a deeper question lingered. What if Nam Joo-hyuk didn't just lose his reputation, but also the chance to live honestly? In a world that punishes vulnerability and weaponizes difference, his silence feels heavier than ever. And while Nam's image cracked under pressure, the next actor rose with poise. Polished, poised, and quietly powerful, Rowoon offers a different kind of mystery. The idol who played it too perfectly. Rowoon has always looked like he came from a drawing. Flawless skin, towering height, a voice like warm velvet. From his days in SF9 to his lead roles in The King's Affection and Destined With You, he embodies what Korean drama fans dream about. Tall, tender, protective, and polite. But that perfection, that meticulous, almost too clean persona, is what raised the first eyebrows. Because when someone's image is that well managed, it's hard not to wonder what's being hidden. He's never had a dating scandal, not even a rumor that stuck. While most idols eventually slip, a secret rendezvous, a blurry paparazzi photo, Rowoon has kept things spotless. And it's not just what he doesn't say, it's how he presents. Whether it's soft looks with male co-stars, lingering glances during fan events, or his calm, guarded body language in interviews, Rowoon constantly dances at the edge of something more. Never crossing a line, but never stepping fully away from it either. For the queer community, that ambiguity speaks volumes. In The King's Affection, where he plays opposite a female lead disguised as a man, Rowoon portrayed same-sex attraction with sincerity and zero discomfort. He never seemed to act around the idea of queerness. He flowed with it. That comfort unsettled some viewers and deeply resonated with others. Was it just good acting? Or did he understand something more intimately than we know? Whatever the truth, Rowoon represents something rare, a softness in masculinity that doesn't apologize. He's quiet, composed, and radiant. And in a world obsessed with declaring orientation, he reminds us that not everyone owes us an answer. Some stars exist not to reveal themselves, but to make us reflect on why we expect them to. And now, from Korea's quiet prince to Hong Kong's rising icon, Aiden Louis may sing love songs to women, but what fans read between the lines has a rhythm all its own. The idol who smiled through every rumor. In Hong Kong's conservative entertainment scene, Aiden Louis is a breath of fresh air, energetic, clean-cut, and endlessly likable. As a member of the boy band Mirror, he rose to fame quickly, becoming one of the most marketable young stars in the region. He sings love songs, stars in rom-coms, and plays the perfect gentleman in every fan's imagination. But as his popularity grew, so did a quieter question. Is there more behind that sweet smile? Aiden has always walked the fine line of charm, close with his male bandmates, affectionate with fans, and never caught in public romance. No girlfriends, no dating rumors, no slip-ups. While that may sound typical for a carefully managed idol, fans began to notice how often his most intimate moments seemed to be with men. Soft glances backstage, tender embraces during concerts, and private jokes that felt a little too personal. The kind of chemistry that didn't feel scripted. His performances only deepened the speculation. In one drama, his emotional scenes with a male co-star drew more attention than the romantic subplot with the female lead. On talk shows, he's warm and evasive, always smiling, always deflecting. It's a pattern many queer fans recognize. Stay lovable, stay vague, stay safe. And yet, in being so careful, Eden has become the center of countless Reddit threads, TikTok theories, and anonymous fan confessions. Whether it's truth, coincidence, or projection, Eden Louis has become a mirror for a new kind of masculinity in Asia. Polished, gentle, and emotionally open. He may never speak the words out loud, but for a generation raised on coded queerness and subtle resistance, he doesn't have to. Sometimes the biggest revelations are the ones we feel, not hear. So now that we've come to the end, who do you think is truly living a secret life behind the spotlight? Which of these 10 stars felt closest to the truth for you? Who do you believe might be gay? And who's your favorite? Leave a comment below and let us know. Your thoughts might just shape our next video. 10 dazzling stars, endless rumors. From stolen glances to perfect silences, they've kept us guessing and craving more. Gay, queer-coded, or just masters of mystery. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain, the obsession isn't going away. Drop your wildest theory in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe, because the next scandal might be even bigger. In 2025, some of Asia's hottest male stars aren't just trending for their roles, but for the rumors swirling around them. From subtle glances to close friendships that feel too close, fans are asking, is there more behind the scenes? These 10 names have sparked debate, hope, and headlines. Which story feels real to you? Who do you think is hiding a secret? Share your thoughts and tell us who surprised you most in the comments. Your voice matters here. The golden boy in heels who dared to flip the script. If life had gone according to plan, Enchong-di might be hanging gold medals in a locker room somewhere, far from cameras and scandals. But fate and charisma had other ideas. From the swimming pool to the screen, he dove into Filipino showbiz with all the grace of a butterfly stroke and the charm of a man who knew exactly how to steal the spotlight. Leading man? Check. Shirtless dance routines? Double check. A safe, straight public image? Triple check. Until he kicked the closet door wide open, in heels. In 2023, Enchong played a trans woman in Here Comes the Groom, and did it with elegance, empathy, and stilettos so fierce they had their own screen presence. Instantly, the LGBTQ+ rumors reignited. Some praised the boldness, others questioned his motives. But Enchong didn't flinch. He didn't explain. He didn't owe anyone a definition. I loved the role. I loved the message. Brat, I loved the wig, he said. And that was that. A mic drop in curls and lipstick. Was it just a role? Maybe. But it was also a moment. A Filipino leading man chose to embody queerness not as a joke, not as parody, but as truth. And that matters. In a culture where masculinity is often guarded like a secret, Enchong gave permission for softness, for complexity, for fluidity. And that ripple effect? It reaches far beyond box office numbers. His story isn't about coming out. It's about showing up for the LGBTQ+ community, for the right to play any role with dignity, and for the belief that art can shift hearts. Because when a man in heels walks into a conservative cinema and walks out having changed minds, that's not acting. That's progress. The silent storm in a world that just won't shut up. Lee Soo-hyuk doesn't chase fame. He drifts through it like fog on a Seoul rooftop in all black with zero context. With cheekbones that could headline Paris Fashion Week and a stare that belongs in an art museum, he enters a room and suddenly, everyone's breathing differently. First a fashion rebel in Seoul's underground, then a brooding vampire and scholar who walks the night, and most recently, a heavenly messenger in Doom at Your Service. Across every role, one thing remains unchanged. The man radiates mystery like it's cologne. Naturally, the whispers followed. He's never been seen in messy love triangles. No red carpet hand-holding, no surprise vacation photos with a rumored partner. Just well-lit shadows, philosophical captions, and the kind of silence that begs for interpretation. Is he queer? Private? Somewhere beautifully in between? Nobody knows, and Lee isn't in a rush to clarify. While some stars flood timelines with gym selfies and couple vlogs, he's busy sipping espresso in monochrome and saying nothing. The result? Icon behavior. In today's culture of overexposure, his refusal to be defined is quietly radical. Because not everyone who breaks norms has to break the internet. Sometimes representation arrives without hashtags. It shows up in silence, in the freedom to just exist as you are, unbothered, unboxed, and gloriously unreadable. Lee reminds us that visibility isn't always about volume. Sometimes it's about presence, and his speaks volumes even when he doesn't. And now, from Korea's silent storm to China's accidental lightning bolt, meet Johnny Huang, the rising star whose first breakout role didn't just spark romance, it sparked a cultural reckoning. The accidental icon who lit a flame in the dark. Johnny Huang didn't plan on becoming a queer icon. He thought he was just playing a role. In 2016, he starred in Addicted, a Chinese web drama about two high school boys falling in love. But what happened next was anything but scripted. The show went viral. The chemistry was off the charts, and then it vanished. Banned, erased, deleted from streaming faster than you can say, too real. But fans, they never forgot. Johnny's performance wasn't just good, it was honest. Too honest, maybe. Viewers wondered, was this acting or something more personal? And when his on-screen romance with Xu Weizhou had sparks that jumped off the screen, the internet lit up. Questions swirled, rumors spread. Was Johnny gay, bi, exploring, or just fearless in his craft? He never confirmed, never denied, he just moved on. Straight into box office hits like Operation Red Sea, action-packed blockbusters where romance wasn't even on the menu. Still, Addicted lingered, not because of scandal, but because of truth. In a country where queer stories often get silenced, Johnny Huang played one with tenderness and dignity. That mattered. And even though the government tried to erase the show, they couldn't erase the impact. Young fans, many queer, many closeted, saw themselves in that story, and in him. Johnny may not have intended to become a symbol, but sometimes courage doesn't come from standing on a podium. Sometimes it comes from simply showing up, loving fully, acting truthfully, and letting people feel seen. And that's the value of visibility. Not every actor has to wave a flag. Sometimes, all it takes is one honest performance to make someone out there feel a little less alone. The tall mystery, wrapped in a rom-com smile. When Hu Yichen appeared on screen in A Love So Beautiful, audiences weren't just watching a schoolboy romance, they were witnessing the birth of a new heartthrob. He had the height, the hair, the aloof charm that made every teenage viewer want to write his name in glitter pen. He was the quiet crush, the dream boyfriend, the guy who said 3 words in one episode and still broke a million hearts. But as his fame grew, so did the questions. Unlike many rising stars, Hu stayed oddly, beautifully silent. No girlfriend announcements, no playful flirting on variety shows, not even a casual, caught-on-camera coffee date. And then came the scandal. In 2018, a leaked voice recording, allegedly him, surfaced. It wasn't salacious, just emotionally messy. But buried in the chaos was something more intriguing. A glimpse into a man who seemed detached from the typical Playboy script. Fans asked, was he hiding something deeper? The speculation grew louder. Some pointed to his roles, always emotionally distant men who held back, never quite falling in love. Others noted his polished image, his reluctance to engage in the usual industry flirtations. It wasn't about evidence, it was about energy, the vibe, the constant quiet, the feeling that maybe, just maybe, Hu Yichen wasn't playing straight, he was playing safe. And that's where it hits hardest. In an industry where one false move can end a career, silence can be survival. Maybe Hu isn't hiding, maybe he's protecting something fragile, or maybe he's just incredibly private. Either way, the questions remain. And the closet, if it exists, feels more cultural than personal. So tell us, what do you think? Is Hu Yiqian just introverted, or is there more behind that distant smile? Drop your thoughts below. We're listening. The smile that started a queer revolution in a school uniform. When Saint Supapong first appeared on screen in Love by Chance, wearing a school uniform and a look of hesitant tenderness, no one expected a cultural shift. But shift it did. Suddenly, Thai television wasn't just telling love stories, it was telling his story, or so fans believed. Because the way Saint played Pete, soft, wounded, and fearless in love, felt personal. Too personal to be just acting. And that's where the speculation began. Was Saint really like the characters he played? Was the chemistry with co-star Perth Tanapan real or just excellent marketing? Fans weren't just shipping them, they were emotionally invested. But Saint never gave a clear answer. What he gave instead? Respect, dignity, and unwavering support for LGBTQ+ representation in Thai media. While other actors ran from queer roles the moment their popularity surged, Saint leaned in, not for clout, but because he believed the stories mattered. And then he did something even rarer. He built a platform. With Idol Factory, Saint became a producer, giving queer characters room to be more than just tropes. His shows didn't just hint, they celebrated. And the audience, they grew with him. Not just fans, but believers. Of course, the question still floats. Is Saint Supapong gay, bisexual, queer? Maybe, maybe not. But here's what we do know. He shows up for the community, on screen and off. And that kind of allyship, authentic, intentional, and joyful, can be even more powerful than a coming out post. So now it's your turn. Which of the stars so far has inspired you the most? Is it Saint's fearless storytelling, or Hu Yiqian's quiet defiance? Let us know in the comments, and if you feel seen, drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories. The prince with a private life and a public mystery. If South Korea had a royal family of heartthrobs, Park Hyung-sik would be wearing the crown. And probably polishing it himself, just to be polite. From his boy band debut in ZA to iconic roles in Strong Girl Bong Soon's Suits and Happiness, he's built an image that blends princely elegance with boy next door charm. He's the type of guy moms adore, fans defend, and directors fight over. But behind that smile, a wall. A velvet one, sure, but a wall nonetheless. Because while Hyung-sik has been in dozens of fictional relationships, his real-life romance resume is suspiciously blank. No tabloid dates, no caught-holding-hands scandals, not even the classic "we're just friends" co-star interview dodge. Just him, alone, impeccably dressed, standing next to Park Bo-young a lot, and somehow still managing to convince everyone they're just close. Naturally, fans began to wonder, is Hyung-sik single by choice or by strategy? Some speculate his chemistry with male co-stars, especially in Hwarang, was a little too electric. Others point to his soft-spoken nature, his comfort in gender-fluid fashion, or the way he always seems to dodge questions about love with a grin that says, "Next question, please." And yet, he's never once addressed the whispers. Not to confirm, not to deny, just silence. The elegant kind. But maybe that's the point. Park Hyung-sik reminds us that privacy is a right, not a red flag. And whether he's part of the LGBTQ+ community or simply walking beside it with grace, the respect he shows by never mocking, never distancing, never exploiting, is its own quiet form of advocacy. The BL poster boy who might just be the real thing. If you ever watched Make It Right the series back in 2016, chances are you remember one thing. Fuse. Sweet, confused, emotional Fuse. And behind that teenage heartbreak, Peak Pimapol, the actor who became a fan favorite overnight and an instant subject of speculation. He was young, he was charming, he played gay too well. For some fans, that equation only has one solution. As his fame grew, Peak became one of Thailand's most beloved BL actors. But unlike others who quickly jumped ship to chase serious roles, Peak stayed. He didn't just act in queer stories, he co-directed them. In Physical Therapy, he helped craft a narrative that felt personal, honest, and unexpectedly deep. That move raised eyebrows. Was this just a career path, or something more authentic? He's never officially addressed his sexuality, but he has spoken openly about how BL changed his view of masculinity, of love, and of storytelling. He's embraced gender-fluid fashion, supported LGBTQ+ events, and taken roles that many straight-identifying actors wouldn't touch. His Instagram? A blend of soft selfies, behind-the-scenes moments, and a quiet confidence that says, "I'm good with who I am. You figure out the rest." In a landscape where many use BL as a stepping stone, Peak treats it like home. And that's what makes him different. Maybe he's straight, maybe not. But his sincerity, his presence, and his refusal to play coy for publicity, that speaks volumes. Because visibility doesn't always come from shouting. Sometimes it's about showing up again and again for the stories that matter. And speaking of men who've turned ambiguity into an art form, next up is Kim Jae-wook, the actor who went from indie rock gigs to queer-coded films, all while keeping one foot in fashion and the other in mystery. The art house enigma with a closet full of questions. Some actors spark curiosity. Kim Jae-wook ignites full-blown conspiracies. With the face of a painting and a voice that belongs in noir cinema, Kim has made a career of being just out of reach. He doesn't play roles, he haunts them. From the eccentric pâtissier in Antique, to the villain in Voice, to the art curator who low-key invented fan service in her private life, he floats between genres and genders, like a man who never learned how to stay in a box. But it was Antique that lit the first match. A film where Kim played an openly gay pastry chef. Not as a caricature, but with nuance, charm, and a dangerously seductive gaze that left both characters and audiences a little breathless. The chemistry? Off the charts. The confidence? Too effortless. The aftermath? A fan base convinced this wasn't acting. "No one plays gay that well without personal experience," one critic whispered. The internet agreed. Years passed, roles came and went, but the questions stayed. He never addressed them, never ran from them, just smiled, that knowing, cinematic smile, and let the mystery grow. Paparazzi tried, reporters tried, even fans tried, but Kim Jae-wook remained unshaken, cloaked in black suits and cryptic answers. And maybe that's his superpower. In an industry obsessed with packaging, he remains wild, raw, unreadable, and deeply intentional. If he is queer, he's one of Korea's boldest silent trailblazers. If he isn't, he's still carved space for those who are. Either way, he's helped normalize queerness on screen, not with loud declarations, but with fearless portrayals and unapologetic beauty. Does Kim Jae-wook's silence protect him or empower others? Leave a comment, drop a like, and if you think ambiguity can be revolutionary. And speaking of beautiful enigmas, our next story takes us to the Philippines, where Arotaide turned one controversial performance into a nationwide conversation. The straight actor who made everyone wonder. Arotaide was minding his own business, building a solid career as one of the Philippines' most versatile actors. He wasn't the typical soap opera prince or Instagram thirst trap. He was the guy who disappeared into roles, who played broken, flawed, deeply human characters, the kind that didn't need six-pack abs to win awards. Then came Malala Mokaya, and everything changed. In that one unforgettable episode, Arjo played a gay man struggling for acceptance in a conservative family. It was quiet, it was moving, and it was so real that viewers across the country dropped their forks and asked the same question. Wait, is Arjo one of us? The speculation lit up comment sections and gossip blogs alike. But Arjo othered. No long-winded denials, no carefully worded PR statements, just a simple message. I did it out of respect for the story. And that, right there, was the moment he went from talented actor to unexpected ally. Because here's the thing. Arjo didn't play that role for clout. He played it like it mattered. And in doing so, he showed that straight actors can contribute to LGBTQ+ visibility, not by taking space, but by honoring it. He didn't mock. He didn't exaggerate. He humanized. And sometimes that's the most radical act of all. His performance didn't just earn praise, it opened hearts. For many viewers, Especially in more traditional households, this was their first time seeing a queer story handled with grace and dignity in prime time. It's not always about who you are, it's about what you choose to stand for. So to Arjo, thank you for standing up by simply showing up. To the you, do you think empathy can be activism? The silent heartthrob who keeps everyone guessing. Kento Yamazaki doesn't need to say much. He walks into a scene, tilts his head slightly, stares into the distance like he's remembering a love that never existed. And suddenly, half the internet's in therapy. He's starred in school romances, time travel dramas, fantasy thrillers, and in every single one, he's played the guy. The one you root for, the one you write fan fiction about, the one you can never quite figure out. But it's not just the characters that have people guessing. It's Kento himself. For years, fans have speculated, why so private? Why so reserved? Why does his chemistry with male co-stars feel just as intense as with the female leads? From LDK to Your Lie in April to Alice in Borderland, Kento's energy is subtle but powerful, soft masculinity with a lingering edge. And in a culture where emotional distance is often expected, that softness reads as something more. Of course, Kento has never addressed the LGBTQ+ rumors directly. He smiles, he bows, he thanks fans, and then he disappears. Like smoke in a Shinkansen tunnel. But maybe that's what makes him so magnetic. He doesn't tell us who he is. He invites us to see parts of ourselves in him. Whether he's queer, questioning, or simply quiet, Kento Yamazaki reminds us that not all representation wears a label. Sometimes, it just wears a uniform and breaks your heart in the final episode. Out of the 10 stars we've explored, from bold performers to silent rebels, who left the strongest impression on you? Who inspired you? Who surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Which one of these 10 rising icons is your favorite? Because in every glance, every scene, and every rumor, there's a deeper truth waiting to be embraced. Behind every rumor, every role is a reminder. Identity is personal, and authenticity requires courage. These 10 stars, big and small, reflect on the power of being true to yourself, or simply allowing others the space to be true to themselves. If this video makes you feel seen, heard, or curious in a new way, we invite you to follow our journey. Subscribe, like, and join us as we continue to celebrate stories that matter, one voice at a time. They're back, hotter, bolder, and wrapped in secrets that keep the internet obsessed. These 10 Asian stars have it all: looks, fame, and whispers they won't address. From shirtless selfies to just friends moments that feel way too close, fans can't stop speculating. Who's hiding the ultimate gay secret of 2025? Hit the comments and tell us your wildest guess. The truth might be hotter than fiction. David Licauco, the boy next door who became a storm. David Licauco wasn't born a superstar, but he carried the kind of quiet intensity that fame couldn't ignore. Born in the Philippines in 1994, David started as a model before anyone knew his name. With a chiseled jawline and smoldering stare, he seemed built for magazine covers, not just the runway, but the camera lens itself. But beneath the perfect face was discipline. A marketing graduate who balanced studies with showbiz, David didn't rush. He studied the game and waited. Slowly but surely, he became more than a background face. He became the face. His career took a serious turn when he landed the role of Fidel in the historical fantasy hit Maria Clara at Ibarra, 2022. His chemistry with Barbie Forteza was undeniable, but it was the tension he carried on screen that made fans wonder. Was he acting, or was something deeper bleeding through? His previous work in GMA shows like Mulawin vs. Ravenna and Kapag Nahati ang Puso showed off his charm, but Fidel turned him into a breakout star. He was no longer just a pretty face, he was a cultural conversation. And then came the whispers. In 2020, David shocked fans by saying he'd be open to starring in a Boys Love BL series. For someone who played so straight for the public eye, this was bold. Suddenly, Twitter lit up. Fan edits, speculation threads, and "Is David gay?" started trending in local circles. He didn't confirm, but he didn't deny either. And that silence became louder than words. Some called it baiting, others called it bravery. Either way, David Lecauco became something more than a leading man. He became a mirror, reflecting back all the questions no one dared to ask. So what do you think? Was it just good PR, or is he hiding the gay secret that made him a star? Tony Labrusca, the heartthrob who refused your labels. Tony Labrusca wasn't supposed to make headlines. He was just another handsome contestant on Pinoy boy band Superstar. Tall, toned, with a smirk that screamed confidence. But even after losing the title, Tony won something bigger: the screen. Born in the US to a Filipino showbiz family, Tony carried both charm and rebellion in his DNA. He wasn't afraid to take off his shirt or dive into roles that came with heat, depth, and sometimes controversy. And the public? They ate it up. But his real breakthrough wasn't a love team or a rom-com. It was Glorious, 2018, a steamy film that featured him in a passionate affair with an older woman. The scenes were raw, intense, unforgettable. Tony became the face of sexual freedom in Filipino cinema. And then the spotlight shifted, not for what he did on screen, but how he behaved off-screen. People began asking, why does he avoid defining his sexuality? Why are his interviews so careful? Why does he never confirm who he's dating, male or female? The rumors intensified. Speculation spiraled when a video of Tony hugging a male friend in a club went viral. Then came the fan edits, soft stares, shirtless selfies, and comments that walked the line between flirtation and confession. When finally asked about the gay rumors in a vlog, Tony didn't deny them. He simply said, "I don't feel the need to explain myself. No labels, no apologies, just truth in silence." And in that moment, Tony flipped the narrative. He wasn't running from rumors, he was redefining what masculinity could be in Philippine showbiz. Maybe Tony is straight, maybe he's not. But in a world obsessed with definitions, he taught fans something deeper. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you love or who you are. Visibility isn't just about coming out. Sometimes it's about standing firm in the right to remain undefined. Seo Kang-joon, the smile that launched 1,000 theories. In a country where idols are expected to be flawless, Seo Kang-joon somehow made perfection look effortless. Born in 1993, he didn't just walk into the spotlight, he floated. Not with a bang, but with a stare that said, "Yes, I've been sent here to ruin your emotional stability." As part of the actor idol group Fiverr Prize, he quickly stood out. That face, that hair, that voice that made fans question everything. He was the total package with a bow on top. And the roles didn't disappoint. He turned cold glances into art in Watcher, broke hearts as the charming second lead in Cheese in the Trap, and made people fall in love with a literal android in Are You Human 2? Which, let's be honest, was way too relatable in the age of dating apps. But while his characters loved freely on screen, Kang-joon in real life? Total enigma. No messy tabloid headlines, no late-night paparazzi chaos, not even a mystery bouquet showing up at his door. Just a quiet, suspiciously romantic silence. Naturally, the internet did what it does best, overanalyzed everything. His tender eye contact with male co-stars? Noted. His soft-spoken charm and fashion sense? Screenshot. His avoidance of ideal-type interviews? Suspiciously smooth. Rumors about his orientation didn't explode, they simmered. Slowly, all over Twitter threads, fan cams, and those fanfiction sites you pretend not to read. And yet, Kang-joon never addressed a thing. No denial, no confirmation, just that same flawless smirk that said, "I know what you're thinking, and I'm not telling you." Maybe he's private, maybe he's playing the long game, or maybe, just maybe, he understands something deeper. Being queer-coded isn't always about making statements. Sometimes it's about giving people space to imagine themselves in the story. And if Kang-joon gave us mystery, Gao gave us myth. Let's head to China for a man carved out of stone and stories. Gao, the untouchable idol with eyes that knew too much. If China ever carved a leading man from marble, it would look exactly like Gao. Born in 1983, he didn't come into fame screaming for attention. He let the camera come to him. Tall, statuesque, and with a stare that could silence a room, Gao Weiguang wasn't built for scandal. He was built for legend. A former model turned actor, he brought stillness into every frame, not because he lacked emotion, but because he held it back like a secret too dangerous to speak. His most iconic role? Without a doubt, Donghua Dijin in Eternal Love and Eternal Love of Dream. As the immortal god who rarely showed emotion but quietly loved one woman for thousands of years, fans didn't just swoon, they obsessed. But something about his performance felt too layered, too personal, like he understood longing a little too well. In fan forums, his chemistry with co-star Dilraba Dilmurat was praised, but so was his suspicious lack of public affection toward any women off-screen. While other actors made headlines for dating rumors, Vengo kept things cold. No flings, no tabloid spottings, just intense eyes, tailored suits, and silence. That silence didn't go unnoticed. On Chinese social media, fans began to whisper, was his devotion to privacy just a personality trait? Or was it protection? Some cited his emotional distance in interviews. Others noted how he rarely, if ever, played overtly romantic leads outside fantasy dramas. Was it calculated or coded? Gao never responded. Not once. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the mystery is the message. For queer audiences, his stillness, his refusal to explain or perform, felt familiar. In a world that demands constant definition, he became a reminder that not everything needs to be named to be seen. Sometimes presence alone is power. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Out of the 4 stars we've explored, David Lecauco, Tony Labrusca, Xiao Kongjun, or Vengo Gao, who captured your heart? Whose journey spoke to you or left you wondering what's behind the curtain? We want to know your favorite, so don't be shy. Drop their name in the comments and tell us why. Your voice matters here. Bank Thidi, the class clown, who got everyone looking twice. If Thai entertainment were a high school, Bank Thidi would be the guy everyone knew. Not the mysterious one in the corner, not the heartbreaker with the motorcycle. No, Bank was the kid who made you laugh, made you feel seen, and somehow made you fall for him without warning. Born in 1996, Bank didn't come from a showbiz family or a fancy acting school. He just had it, that raw charm that doesn't need polish. He first stole the spotlight in Hormones the series, and from there, it was chaos, the good kind. He didn't play by the rules. While other young actors stuck to safe, clean-cut roles, Bank leaned into messiness, complex characters, emotional arcs, scenes that felt too real to be scripted. His role as Non in Hormones turned him into an overnight sensation. But it was what happened off-screen that really lit up fan forums. His behind-the-scenes chemistry with co-stars, especially male ones, had fans raising eyebrows and clicking replay. It wasn't just the acting. It was the lingering glances, the playful touches, the kind of closeness that felt unscripted. Too close, or just Thai fan service? That was the question. And then came the fan base, intense, loyal, and very observant. TikToks broke down his every movement. Thidi speculated on the nature of his friendships. His selfies with guy friends, arms draped, smiles a little too soft, became digital artifacts in the Gaydar archives. Through it all, Bank never gave a straight answer. Not because he was hiding, but because he didn't seem to care what people assumed. And maybe that's what made the rumors louder, or more interesting. Because with Bank, it's not about denial or confirmation, it's about comfort, confidence. That unbothered energy that says, believe what you want, I'm still here, still booked, still beloved. In a world where labels are demanded like hashtags, Bank Thidi reminds us that living authentically doesn't always mean explaining yourself. Sometimes, it means just showing up, fully, freely, and with a wink. Desmond Tan, the gentleman who said everything without a word. In the whirlwind of celebrity life, Desmond Tan moved differently. Calm, collected. Born in 1986, he rose to fame as Star Search Singapore's breakout star, not with flash, but with quiet confidence. While others chased trends, Desmond stayed polished. Every move felt intentional. Every smile rehearsed like a secret. He became a staple in Singaporean dramas, The Journey, Against the Tide, When Duty Calls. always the dependable man, the officer, the son-in-law, the quiet protector. His image? Impeccable. Too impeccable, some might say. No scandals, no messy headlines, no confirmed relationships for years. And that's when fans began to wonder, how could someone so adored stay so untouched? Interviews danced around personal questions. His Instagram? Curated, distant. And then there was the long-standing closeness with a male stylist. Matching outfits, poetic captions, private trips. Nothing confirmed, nothing denied. Desmond never explained, never entertained the whispers. He simply smiled, with the ease of someone who owed the world nothing. Was he guarding something private, or simply refusing to be defined? In a world obsessed with labels, Desmond offered something rare, dignified ambiguity. And for many queer fans, that quiet strength mattered. Because sometimes just being, with grace, without apology, is its own kind of statement. Not everything needs to be loud to be real. So what do you think? Is Desmond Tan just a master of privacy, or is his silence saying more than words ever could? Do you find power in his mystery, or wish he'd finally speak his truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one's open for interpretation. Perth Tanapan, the BL prince who grew up under a spotlight too bright. Some stars are discovered, others are created, scene by scene, heartbeat by heartbeat. Perth Tanapan wasn't just another rising actor in Thailand's entertainment world. He was a phenomenon. Born in 2001, he was still in high school when his life changed forever. One casting decision, one drama. And suddenly, he wasn't just Perth. He was the passionate, protective, emotionally complex boy from Love by Chance 2018, a role that made hearts race and identities blur. The show exploded. Perth's chemistry with co-star Saint Supapong was so intense, so believable, fans didn't just ship them, they believed in them. The line between character and actor blurred until it nearly disappeared. Suddenly, every hand touch, every glance, every interview was under scrutiny. And for a teenager still figuring out life, it was a lot. He played queer love on screen, so naturally fans wondered, was it all just acting? The rumors snowballed. His tight bond with male co-stars, his soft-spoken charm, his occasional emotional distance from female castmates, it all became fuel. Tumblr threads, fan edits, conspiracy TikToks. People weren't just watching Perth, they were decoding him. And yet he never snapped. He never denied. He just kept showing up for the work. For the story. For the fans. Some call it fan service. Others see something braver, a young man refusing to let speculation define or derail him. Perth may never say what people want him to, but in choosing silence, he's choosing control over his identity, his future, his peace. Because growing up in the spotlight isn't just about surviving fame, it's about surviving expectation. And Perth Tanapan has done just that, with more grace than most twice his age. Now from Thailand's boy wonder, let's fly back to Singapore for a leading man with a whole different kind of mystery. Shane Pao, the on-screen rebel with a life that raised real questions. In Singapore's prim and proper entertainment scene, Shane Pao was the exception. The rule breaker you couldn't take your eyes off. With a square jaw, sharp stare, and that smirk that made trouble look good, he made a career out of playing the guy your parents warned you about. And somehow, we still wanted more. Born in 1990, Shane wasn't handed fame. He wrestled it into his corner, from variety host to breakout drama star. His roles in Love Me Not, Hero and The Gentleman showcased his signature mix of danger and charm. Whether playing the misunderstood rebel or the flirty sidekick, Shane brought edge to a screen full of nice guys. But then came the headlines, not the cute kind. In 2021, he was fined and briefly jailed for drink driving, a scandal that could have ended his career, but didn't. Because in typical Shane fashion, he returned quieter, sharper, and somehow more intriguing than ever. But behind the comeback was a question that never went away. Despite being known as a ladies' man on screen, his personal life stayed unusually vague. No long-term public relationships, no tabloid flings, just a series of polished press photos and a sea of silence. Fans noticed. Some pointed to his early modeling years, where his chemistry with male co-stars felt oddly intimate. Others highlighted interviews where he sidestepped questions about ideal types, always choosing vague, poetic answers over concrete ones. Was it just privacy, or was it protection? In a media landscape where every answer can be twisted, maybe Shane's mystery was his way of keeping something sacred. And for queer fans watching closely, that quiet control felt familiar and even empowering. Because in a world where not all stories can be told out loud, living on your own terms is sometimes the boldest thing of all. Now let's shift gears. From Singapore's rebel with secrets to China's golden boy with an unshakable smile. Yang Yang, the idol too perfect to be real. Some idols shine. Yang Yang glowed. Born in 1991, trained in ballet, disciplined to perfection, he was every casting director's dream and every fan's fantasy. He didn't need scandals. He didn't need noise. He just appeared, and the world paused. From The King's Avatar to You're My Glory, he played warriors, lovers, dreamers, always flawless, always untouchable. His presence was poetry in motion. And yet, with every role, one thing became clearer. We still knew nothing about the man behind the glow. No girlfriends, no rumors that stuck, not even the casual slip-up that keeps tabloids alive. Every interview, scripted grace. Every red carpet, picture perfect. His life felt like a museum, beautiful, curated, and sealed behind glass. And that's where the whispers began. Not loud, just consistent. Why does he dodge every question about love? Why does his chemistry with male co-stars often feel more real than anything scripted? Why, in an industry addicted to romantic headlines, does Yang Yang stay silent year after year? Some said he's just private. Others, especially queer fans, saw something deeper. In his silence, in his elegance, in his refusal to perform masculinity the traditional way, they saw themselves. And maybe that's why the rumors never faded. Because they weren't really about scandal, they were about recognition. Yang Yang may never speak on it, but maybe he doesn't have to. Because sometimes the most powerful truths are the ones hidden between the lines. 9 stars. 9 stories layered in stares, chemistry, and carefully guarded truths. So tell us, who lingered in your mind the most? David, Tony, Kangjun, Vengo, Bank, Desmond, Perth, Shane, or Yang Yang? Drop their name in the comments. And remember, sometimes it's not the answers that move us. It's the questions no one dares to ask. This video wasn't just about rumors. It was about the power of possibility. In a world that demands labels, these 9 stars showed us something different. That silence, ambiguity, and coded moments can be just as powerful as coming out. For queer viewers, especially across Asia, their stories offer something rare. A reflection of what it's like to live between the lines, to be seen without having to explain. And for everyone watching, they remind us that curiosity doesn't always mean intrusion. Sometimes it means connection. Finding a piece of ourselves in someone else's mystery. So whether you saw yourself in their silence, their confidence, or just in the way they refused to fit into a box, we hope this video made you feel something. If it did, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and explore our other videos where hidden stories take the spotlight. And drop a comment. Who made you wonder the most? Who made you feel the most? Because every question asked brings us one step closer to understanding. They've got the looks, the fame, and the whispers that won't stop. From Bangkok to Seoul, these 10 insanely handsome Asian actors have lit up the screen and left fans asking the same question. Are the rumors true? They never said yes, but they never said no either. Get ready for a countdown of beauty, mystery, and speculation. This isn't just a list, it's a glimpse behind the curtain of Asia's most talked about heartthrobs. Johnny Huang Jingyu, the soldier who set hearts on fire. You thought discipline belonged to the army, but Johnny Huang brought it straight to the screen, with abs sharp enough to cut silence and eyes that made viewers forget to breathe. A former Navy recruit turned overnight sensation, Johnny didn't just walk onto the stage, he stormed it, with the force of a man who had something to prove and secrets he didn't care to explain. In a world where every glance gets magnified and chemistry can't be faked, Johnny Huang's name keeps surfacing, not just for his roles, but for the rumors he never quite silenced. Born in 1992 in Liaoning, China, Johnny Huang Jingyu didn't take the traditional route to stardom. He served in the People's Liberation Army Navy, learning order, precision, and resilience. But in 2016, everything changed with Addicted, a web series that exploded across Asia. Playing one half of a passionate, forbidden love story between two young men, Johnny wasn't just acting, he was embodying a type of truth rarely shown on screen in China. The show was pulled, censored, erased. But Johnny's impact? Unforgettable. Fans didn't just ship the characters, they shipped him. Whispers followed him off set. Was it just the role, or was there more? As his fame grew with Operation Red Sea and Moonlight, so did the questions. Johnny, ever disciplined, never answered directly. He played it cool, posed with women on red carpets, but never quite killed the speculation. His silences said more than interviews ever could. He was a riddle wrapped in six-pack abs, wrapped in state-approved masculinity. Today, Johnny Huang remains one of China's most magnetic screen presences. Bold, talented, and undeniably beautiful. But beneath the surface lies something else. Maybe it's just the echo of a role he once played too well. Or maybe it's the quiet truth of a man who chose not to explain himself to a world obsessed with labels. Whatever the case, he left us wondering, and in entertainment, that's a power few ever hold. One thing's for sure, Johnny didn't just break boundaries. He dared us to question who gets to define them. Liu Wulei. He wasn't just China's golden boy, he was everyone's. Wulei, better known as Liu Wu, didn't wait for fame to find him. He hunted it down before he hit double digits. Born in 1999 in Shanghai, he made his TV debut at just 3 years old. By age 9, he had already appeared in dozens of commercials and was dubbed China's youngest drama king. While other kids were learning multiplication, Leo was mastering camera angles and memorizing scripts. But this wasn't some overbearing stage parent story. Leo loved the spotlight. It loved him back. His early roles showed range beyond his years, especially in historical dramas where his expressive eyes could flip from innocent to fierce in seconds. Directors noticed, audiences noticed, and slowly a child actor became something more, something harder to define. As Leo grew older, his charm didn't fade, it deepened. He took on complex roles in blockbusters like Nirvana in Fire and the Long Ballad, proving he wasn't just a child star. He was a serious actor. With that, the internet buzz grew louder. Millions followed his every move. His jawline sharpened, his body matured, so did the questions. Unlike many of his peers, Leo kept his private life locked tight. No messy relationships, no flashy scandals, just a smile, a wave, and a mystery. That silence became its own story. Rumors of Leo's sexuality started to swirl. Nothing confirmed, nothing denied. Just enough subtle glances and fan service moments with male co-stars to set social media on fire. Was it marketing? Was it real? Or was it just the fantasy of a fandom desperate for something more? Leo never gave them answers, and in that silence, the speculation only grew. In 2025, Liu Wu stands not just as a top-tier actor, but as a cultural enigma. At only 26, he's played sons, warriors, lovers, legends. But who is he really when the cameras stop rolling? Maybe that's the magic. Leo doesn't let the world define him, and he doesn't rush to define himself either. Whether he's straight, gay, or something in between isn't the point. The point is this: he's magnetic. He's timeless. He's Liu Wu, the boy who became a man in front of our eyes and somehow still keeps us guessing. Xu Kai. He was supposed to be a soldier. Instead, he became a fantasy. Before Xu Kai lit up screens across Asia, he was just another kid in Shenzhen, dreaming small. Born on March 5, 1995 in Guangdong Province, Xu Kai never set out to chase fame. In fact, his first passion was military service. He even trained for a future in the Chinese armed forces. But fate had other plans. After winning a local print modeling contest in 2013, the shy young man with sharp cheekbones and soft eyes was suddenly thrust into the world of fashion and fame. And he didn't just walk into it, he owned it. From modeling shoots to period epics, he moved like he belonged, even when he didn't believe it yet. Xu Kai signed with Huanju Film in 2016 and quickly made waves in costume dramas that set Chinese hearts racing. His breakout came in Story of Yanqi Palace, 2018, where he played the noble and tragic Fucha Fuheng, a performance that turned him from rising star into national obsession. With that success came a string of hits: The Legends, Arsenal Military Academy, Ancient Love Poetry, and Royal Feast. He played warriors, princes, lovers, always with the same magnetic presence. But behind the camera, Xu Kai stayed private. No scandals, no oversharing, just work and whispers. Whispers that he was too close to male co-stars, that his chemistry with certain actors felt a little too real. He never responded, he never denied, and maybe that silence was louder than any statement. What happens when a heartthrob doesn't play by your rules? You start to question your own. In 2025, Xu Kai remains one of China's most bankable stars, handsome, poised, and perpetually just out of reach. Fans swoon, brands line up, and the tabloids, they keep guessing. Maybe he's gay, maybe he's not. What we know for sure, Xu Kai has mastered the art of mystery in an industry obsessed with certainty. And maybe that's what makes him so unforgettable. He isn't just a pretty face. He's a riddle wrapped in silk robes and piercing glances, the kind of enigma that makes you look twice and then wonder what you missed the first time. Park Bo-gum. What if the golden boy of Korean drama wasn't just acting the part, but hiding behind it? Park Bo-gum, the prince of perfect smiles and polite silences, has long held the image of South Korea's most eligible leading man. Born in Seoul in 1993, he didn't just grow into fame, he seemed destined for it. With striking visuals, a voice that could melt through ballads, and a natural magnetism that made viewers feel like he was speaking only to them, Bo-gum was built for the screen. From Reply 1988 to Love in the Moonlight, every role felt like another layer of charm added to his public persona. Pure, warm, dependable. But for all the roles he's played, the one he's worn longest might be the hardest. Perfection. Behind the scenes, Bo-gum's life has sparked endless fascination and speculation. Unlike many of his peers, he's never been linked to any confirmed romantic relationships. His closeness with fellow male actors, his emotional depth on screen, and his deep involvement with his church have all led fans to wonder, is there more to Bo-gum's story than he lets on? A viral photo here, an ambiguous quote there, and suddenly whispers become wildfire. Some say he's just private. Others say he's hiding a truth that South Korea's entertainment industry still struggles to accept. Through it all, Park Bo-gum remains silent, never confirming, never denying, just smiling that signature smile that feels both open and unreachable. Yet maybe the real Park Bo-gum is less about answers and more about quiet rebellion. He's never chased controversy, but neither has he run from it. He served in the military with dignity, chose to study music at university, and walked his own path while others chased trends. For some, that's proof of authenticity. For others, it's more mystery. In an industry obsessed with control, Park Bo-gum's greatest power may lie in what he withholds. Whether he's simply a shy romantic or a man shielding a deeper truth, one thing remains clear. Bo-gum continues to captivate not because of what he says, but because of what we still don't know. Song Kang. He was never supposed to be a heartthrob. In fact, when Song Kang first appeared on screen, most casting directors didn't see him as a leading man. Too quiet, too soft, too understated. But it was exactly that softness, the quiet way he drew you in, the subtle ache in his eyes, that turned him into one of Asia's most magnetic young stars. Born in 1994 in Suwon, South Korea, Song wasn't chasing fame from childhood. He didn't grow up in the spotlight. He studied film and theater at Konkuk University and kept his head down, perfecting his craft while others chased the flash. And when his breakthrough finally came, It wasn't loud. It was emotional. It was Love Alarm that lit the fuse. Playing a boy caught in a digital love triangle, Song Kang didn't just act. He unfolded on screen. His portrayal felt lived in, fragile, dangerously real. Fans didn't just watch him, they felt him. Then came Sweet Home, a dark, psychological horror where he flipped the script and revealed something even deeper. Vulnerability beneath survival. Suddenly, he wasn't just a pretty face, he was a storm of contradictions. Gentle yet intense, reserved but electric. And with roles in Nevertheless and Forecasting Love and Weather, he blurred the line between actor and emotion itself. Each performance was a window into something more complex than words, something quietly haunting. But with the rise came the whispers, the questions no one dared ask outright. But everyone kept repeating. Why does he avoid dating rumors? Why the deeply intimate chemistry?